Welcome to Coach Hayes Football Live. He can talk about anything from high school to the pros. This guy knows the game, so you better not be half-stepping.
I can guarantee you most of the audience is going to agree with me before they agree with you.
Strap in, because Coach Hayes is about to
crack your cranium and fertilize your brain. Go ahead and right here, right now.
Subscribe now and check out CoachHayesFootball.com.
What's up, everybody? We back in the building. Let me know everything looks good, sounds good, get this thing rocking and rolling. We back here for another episode of Primetime Talk on the Coach and Coach podcast with Coach Hayes. Well, we got a lot to talk about, a little bit of time to talk about it. But we got some special guests coming in here in a little bit after I do my monologue. And we get this thing going. Title of the show is Coach Prime and Colorado facing major problems this season. Yes, they are. And I just did a good, bad, and ugly drop this morning, so y'all make sure y'all go check that out. That is why I do the film review of their games. Just did that on Houston. Last week did it on Delaware. And they have some issues going on in Colorado. It's kind of a lot, but I think one of the major issues that a lot of people are not talking about, because it's kind of secondary when it comes to football outside of the quarterback, is the defense within itself. Currently, right now, they've given up a total of 1,200 yards on defense, and I think that is really more of the major issue than the quarterback issue, believe it or not. Me being a defensive guy myself, you can't win games 51-50. You understand? You can't keep living in that world. So you got to be able to fix the defense, and it's being able to stop the run, and that's something that Colorado has suffered since the Coach Prime era has started, and they can't done. It was Charles Kelly at first, and now it's I want to say Sean Livingston. That's not his name. Robert Livingston. And so they got to get that fixed. And as I look at it, a lot of things haven't changed. Of course, we know it's kind of a revolving door when it comes to Colorado in regards to the transfer portal. Coach Prime says, 40-40-20, 40 graduates, 40 transfers, and 40 high school. And now it's starting to rear its head. This is something Coach Hayes has been talking about since Colorado got there. I believe that the heart and soul, even with the transfer portal, is in the high school realm. You got to get guys to grow up in your system. You can't just grab a bunch of players from everywhere, as people like to call them, mercenary players, right? They're coming in for the money, for the transfer portal, the NIL, and so forth. Yeah, you have to work within the transfer portal because it's well and live and everybody's doing it. But if you're living like Coach Prime is living right, show itself. And what's happening right now is a lot of continuity is missing. And football is big on chemistry. You got to get guys that know how to work together, play together. And when you constantly have this revolving door, this is where the issues lie. If you look at them even on offensively, Jordan Seaton is the only returning offensive starter on that offense out of the 11 players, right? Not contributors, but just a starter. And he only has 1 year under his belt as a true freshman. Now, this is only his second year. So what does that tell you? On defense, a bunch of new faces. Some guys on the defensive line I think is decent and pretty okay. But the linebacker room is completely new. Not a new faces in the back end. And it's starting to show his head, right? And on the defensive side of the ball, people don't understand. You got to know how to work together. A lot of things on defense work in tandem. You got to be like on a string. If I go left, you got to go right. If I go right, you got to go left. If I go back, you got to go up. If I go up, you got to go back. That's how that thing works. You got guys that are just learning how to play this thing. This is where that chemistry and that continuity comes in, and it lacks a little bit. I'm trying to make sure I have this right. They say I'm a little choppy over here on the screen. I'm not sure why it's looking so bad. But anyway, it's storming here where I am in Central Florida, so maybe that might be just the reception. But like I said, we'll definitely get this in. We'll get my guest on here in a second, and then we'll open up the phone lines and let you guys chop it up and talk. But I know it is looking a little choppy on the screen. There's a really bad thunderstorm going on through Central Florida right now. So go ahead and hit the like, share, and subscribe button as you come on in, do a quick roll call, and we get this thing rocking. Shout out to LMV, the producer. All aboard the Crash Out Train. LMV. Coach may need a coach for today's show with some lavender oil and a diffuser to calm these people down. Chris Canes, choo-choo. Listen, let me just stop this right quick. I'm going to call it it's not really a crash out train. I'm gonna tell you why. Because most people already jumped off the train. Most of the people in Ohio right now. And this is funny how this world works. In the words of the beautiful Janet Jackson, what have you done for me lately? Huh? Huh? Your favorite YouTuber has jumped ship and gone somewhere else. But not me, because I'm Coach Hayes. I'm your favorite coach, if you understand me. Favorite coach. And I'm here for it. Coach, video is kind of pixelated. Coach might need to reset the internet router. It's just a storm right now. I've done that actually, Reggie. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the $5. Hopefully it'll clear up here in a second. I'm not sure why it's doing that. I mean, I'm actually tied into a hard wire, but it's really bad right now. So hopefully it'll fix itself. But it looks clear on my screen, but I got it up on this one, and I can see exactly what you're saying. So I apologize for the quality of it, but up here in a little bit. Here we go. LMV says Storm who I am too, and I thought it was me. No, that's me. Demetrius, tell me, what's up, Coach? You doing all right? Go Canes beat the Gators. I like how you spelled that. I really appreciate that. Speaking of that, if y'all didn't see the Dame Dash interview on Breakfast Club, boy, that's hilarious. Anyway, back to this. You know, Coach Prime now, let's talk about the quarterback real quick. It's kind of in a dilemma, I would assume. He said he has it figured out. He didn't drop any names. He talked about leadership and consistency from the quarterback room in today's press conference. And a reporter asked him directly about Caden Salton. He said, did you hear what I said? Leadership and consistency. But he also referenced that to all those guys. So I guess he was speaking of Ryan Staub as well. But right now, this is where you are and this is what you have. Okay. And I don't know what he's going to do. Game is Caden Salton. Is he not going to start? Hell, I gave y'all my opinion before. I think he should start. I believe it was his job to lose. But like I said, I'm not Coach Prime. That's not my ship. You can sail it in the open water, or you can run into an iceberg and call it the Titanic. The shit is up to him. You understand? That's his deal. So, dang, cool. My wife was just in my office talking about the Dame Dash. I'm telling you, that job, that was crazy. That was crazy. Anyway, yes, I have been to Tom Watch Bar. I have upstairs. It's pretty cool. Appreciate it. Anyway, FPSD in the building for the $5. When they love you in the beginning, they hate you in the end, and vice versa. If CU loses to Wyoming, yeah, it's gonna be ugly. But that's how it is. That's how this thing is. But this is, I have to be honest with you, this is also how it was created, right? It was created under a lot of hype and everything and so forth. And it's funny how people say they love you, right? But they'll disappear. But that's something Coach Prime understands as well. He understands that. He does, right? I mean, he's been in the limelight. He's been in front of the camera 40 years. You know what I mean? 40 years he's been doing this. So he definitely understands how that works. But with all that being said, I just find it crazy. And to me, for especially, you know, we talk about this community, for example, which I've had people tell me, Coach, you hate being black because I spoke certain ways in regards to what Coach Prime did. Coach, you hate this. Coach, you don't want to see a black man. But guess what? Where y'all at now? Where's your support now? Huh? When the new car smell wear off and you start eating French fries in the Lambo, huh? Where you at now? Go ask your favorite YouTuber where they at now. Because what? Dan Lanning said it best. For the clicks and likes. Talking about it because it ain't about clicks and likes. Straight up. It ain't about the clicks and likes. It ain't entertaining to you anymore because now it's getting down to real football talk, real football conversations, right? It ain't about the hype train with the Shador and the Travis, which was all great. But now when you get down to the nitty gritty of this thing and how this thing works, it don't always look as pretty as you want it to be. Huh? What are blender shades? Ain't nobody buying a new version of the blenders? Huh? It's still Coach Prime, baby. And you're like, man, you hate Coach. No, I'm talking to y'all, not him, not Colorado. I'm talking about these part-time lovers out here. Oh, we here to support these boys. No, you're not. Now it's getting rough. You out. You out. It's a microcosm of society, right? When it gets So, yep. Huh? What your daddy say? Hey, baby, I'm going to the store to get some milk. I'll be right back. Still waiting for him to show up at the window. Huh? He ain't come back. He done dipped. Huh? Boy, I wish my thing looked better, man. My screen look all jacked up because I'm finna drop some dimes on y'all right here tonight. I'm gonna drop some dimes on y'all here tonight. I'm just letting y'all know. See, if you say you're a fan of something, then be a fan of that. But anyway, that's just where it is. Real quick, Reggie, again for the $2. It's called the pump and dump effect. CU stock is down. Oh, I get what you're saying. Okay. Reggie, please explain the pump and dump effect, please, before I do this. Please. All right. Let me do this, man. I'm not sure. I want to give you better quality. And it's saying HD on my side. Again, it's so bad. It's so pixelated. But I want to make sure you guys, can you hear me clearly? I guess that's the bigger focus. Can you hear me better than you can see me? Again, I know the storm is really bad right now. And let me see. Let me try to do this. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can re-up this deal, man. And then when I come back, I'll bring my guest on because I don't want to bring him on. I'm looking crazy. Let's see if I can do it. I see it just cleared up for a second. But let me go ahead and log out and log back in. Y'all hold tight for 1 second. Let me just see if I could reload it. Hold tight. Sorry, guys. God, doggone it. Anyway, without further ado, I got my dog on here. He done came in. Y'all clap it up.
Hey man, I appreciate everything. I mean, you're much clearer now, man. All you had to do was bring me on at first. It cleared up from the start. You know how us Capitals are. We like the camera.
Hey, shout out to my son right here. Pop streaming from old Nokia flip phone. See, I told you, son. Look, this is why I tried to tell you. This is why I'm the dude that told you I went to the store to get the milk and never came back. AG, this is why I tried to tell him. I ain't never coming back. Next time I'm coming home, AG, when that milk turned back into the cow, I'll be back home, son. That's when I'm coming back. How about that? Get that fool out of here, man. Somebody said real quick, whose uncle is this? Well, let me tell you this. I don't know if he'll see you, uncle, but I'm going to tell you this. This guy right here is responsible for some of your favorite players coming out of this Central Florida. I'll just say the Florida area to some of your favorite colleges, man. I actually met this guy 10 years ago when I moved here to Central Florida. And
cussed me out. Cussed me out first time I met him.
Cussed him out. Cussed him out. What I said, AG?
I'm from Miami. You'll come up in here with my shortage. And da-da-da-da-da. I just looked at him, man. I say, he got that light man syndrome, So let me just let it alone. Somebody in Miami roughed him up because he was light skinned. So let me just leave that brother alone. So we became good friends. But sometimes you got to let it go.
Oh man, so I had these shorties. They were like, "Yeah, Cole, we going on this golden ticket bus tour, right?" I'm like, "Golden ticket bus tour? What's that?" AG, he take us around to college. I'm like, "Who this street agent is, dog?" I said, "Before y'all go anywhere, am I right?" I said, "For y'all go anywhere, I need to meet him. Tell him to come to the school. Y'all ain't going nowhere." So he came to the school. You know what I'm saying? End up having a good conversation.
To be honest, that's what that's old school. Like you couldn't just go with your friends unless they mom and daddy knew you. So you was very accountable. One of the few coaches in Central Florida that really had an impact on their kids beyond just Friday night lights. So because this was all in the summer, the spring. This was all during that time. So I really appreciate you.
Yeah, man. And so, like I said, you've had many guys on that tour, man. Y'all go around to maybe 7, 8, maybe even 10 colleges on that tour, man, all the way from HBCUs, D2s, I'm about to say D1 AA's, old school right there, for real. But I'm saying you go through all the levels. So these players can't be exposed. And Fred Taylor always said the best, exposure leads to expansion.
Right.
And so they get a chance to see some of these colleges. And this, I definitely know this as well. and a lot of these players I got on this wall, plus some I still got in the crate over there, they don't realize some of these smaller schools got the same, if not better, facilities than some of these Power 4 schools you cheer for.
Honestly, there's a lot of schools out there. It's some HBCUs out there with some powerful facilities. When this year on the bus tour, we went to Texas from Florida. So we took the kids, went to Southern Miss, had some nice facilities. Went to Prairie View, man. I put their facilities up against any group of 5 out there. Like probably one of the nicest campuses we went through. The kids were shocked. So you want to expose them to all these different places. Went to Howard and Hampton, and the kids, we went there. The young fellas was impressed with the ladies. They was definitely. I'm talking about some of the. I won't name no kids' names, but they was definitely like, hey, you know what, coach, I can go here. I'm talking about kids that's at Miami, Florida. All that. They was like, coach, I could go here. So you just want to expose them a little bit.
The words of Biggie. My man say, ladies, my Mercedes, hold 4 in the back, but 2 if you're fat, huh? Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and say this, man. AG, like I said, you've had some names. If you don't mind, maybe you can pop some of them names out there because they're like, oh, I didn't know CJ Baxter, huh?
CJ Baxter been on the bus trip.
Texas.
I get some of the pros. Ronaldo Green, the 49ers, Joe Milton. That's how we connected. Dallas Cowboys. Tyler Davis. He's with the Rams. He's doing very well. Ryan Davis, who was at Georgia. Brandon's with Houston Texans at Pitt. Quite a few, man. Even more to come. We've had this year, like the younger guys that people would know, Cedric Baxter, John Walker, who's at UCF, who will probably be a top 2 or 3 day. Jordan Phillips with the Miami Dolphins, which for Colorado fans who don't know, he was the pick right before Shador. He was the pick right before Shador. Jimmy Horn.
Real quick, I had his older brother. I remember when Jordan was a little, like, you know what I'm saying? A little old dude, man. Yep. Little old cat, bro.
He big now.
He big.
So
big old dude.
We've had quite a few kids. We have some kids this year that are going to do big things as well. So that's just to name a few.
Yeah. Well, all right, man. Well, let's jump into this deal, man. People may not know that, but a lot of people put 2 and 2 together. Yeah, we got you loud and clear. A lot of people put 2 and 2 together as well. I've had you on the show before. Yeah. Your son went to Colorado as well. I did an interview in your home with him called a Person Player Prospect interview. Like I said, if you didn't see it, go check that out as well. Even though I know he's now moved on from Colorado to FAU, still gives you insight about him as a person. And I think that's interesting, man. But let's talk a little bit about Colorado. I know you of course, you're big into football and so forth. What's your take on Colorado right now as the season is going on?
Man, I'm sure Coach Prime knew they were going to have some growing pains, man. You lost Shador, and as much as people want to, badmouth Shador, he was out there making some magic for sure. And same thing with Travis and Jimmy and LaJohntay Wester. Definitely didn't get the credit he deserved. So they knew they were taking it back. It's not too many places in the country where you can just lose your starting quarterback and the Heisman Trophy winner and just come back, unless you're at Georgia, Bama, places like that. Ohio State. Ohio State will lose a receiver, and the next dude come in is colder than the dude who left. That kind of thing. But
right.
But the reality is, man, I'm pretty sure Coach Prime knew that they were gonna, lose a little bit. Especially like you said, Colorado, Coach Prime has chosen to go portal heavy. I thought it was a great idea when he first did it. Still think it is. But, those young guys that you bring in the freshman class, you can't miss on them, or you can't, or you have to develop them too. Because, because the problem with the portal is, I've seen that, you had guys come in and like you say, your favorite YouTuber who, talk about, oh, how this guy was going to be this guy was going to be that. And then when the guy's not that, everybody runs off and has something to say bad about the kids. At the end of the day, Coach Prime, for what he did, I thought he did a great job, getting those guys to go 8-4. Because I don't think either one of us thought they would go 8-4 last year.
9-3 actually. Yeah. jumped in 9-3.
Yeah. Last year was the year before that, even the 4-8. He's gotten so much success that now, everybody's ready to write him off, but that Georgia Tech team beat Clemson, and Houston is 3-0.
That's a good Georgia Tech team, bro.
Yeah. So, and they really could had a shot. They just couldn't stop, the run, and like you said earlier, Salter hasn't been playing bad. Everybody's talking about the quarterback play. It's not the quarterback play. I mean, Salter really wasn't bad. Stobbs come in and did what I knew he could do. He came in with my son, so I watched him on the scout team and stuff like that. And that's why Prime was very comfortable putting him in there because they see that stuff. But you got to stop the run, man. Period. And we know that because we football guys, and I tell people it all starts and begins with the run. Running sets up your offense. Running, sets up your defense. It's just that simple. If you can stop the run.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that, right? Because, again, speaking of these days, we knew these days were coming, right? And to Prime's credit, he knew his son was on the clock, right? It wasn't like he had coming in as a freshman like he did. He had 2 years at Jackson State, so the clock started clicking early. And so, yeah, you got to win. You got to make a splash. You didn't have time for growing pains, in essence. So I know his urge was to win, to put his son in the best situation. That's what parents do.
That's what he should have. Let's make sure we're clear about that.
As he should. Yeah. As he should have.
Yeah, baby. I get a lot of people always talking about him playing daddy ball or whatever the case may be. Man, his son can play. I mean, Prime went out there. Like, I seen people play daddy ball and their son can't play a lick. He was at least out there. He was making plays, right? I've seen it. We've had the conversation.
Hey, and they got jersey number 1 on. And they got jersey number 1 on. And one of my favorite lines on the WRE is, if you wear jersey number 1, either you the baddest dude on the field or you the coach's son. There's only 2 reasons you wear number 1.
No. There's one other reason you forgot.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
that money.
You remember?
That money.
Well, that's 2 reasons. Because that money will do it too. But it's one other reason that think about Miami.
Oh, that mama fine. That mama fine.
I didn't see it, bro.
You ain't see the call I got, AJ. Did you? I'm about to get back into coaching.
Okay. You about to get it back in there?
Yeah, I had somebody call me. I'm trying to see if I can pull it up. I had videotaped the phone call. Let me see. She called. The person called,
right?
And they were talking about how good their son was, and I'm trying to see if I can. I go back in the archives, and I have it right here. I think I have it, but anyway, I'll pull it up as we go on. But anyway, and they were talking about how good their son was and everything, and Coach, man, I heard a lot about you. I want you to get back into coaching, this, that, and the third. And, my son needs your help. And I said, I don't know. I'll think about it. And then we did a video call. And then that's where I was. But anyway, we'll talk. I'll make sure I bring that up before
you digress. Right. I already know what it is.
But anyway, kind of poor setup, but we'll bring it up later. But anyway, no, but to that point, man, no, I always thought Shedeur could play. Right, Travis, great. You went and got Jimmy Horn, those kind of things. Again, he's a young guy right here from Sanford, Florida.
DeJounte Wester is a bad boy.
Weaver from right out of the OCP.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a lot of guys. But like I always say, I got cussed out here on my show. Shout out Tab from Texas when I was talking about, Coach Prime should be going in these homes. And shout out to Lexus. Hey, Lexus. I hope you still ain't mad at me, baby. Come on home. But anyway, people got mad. Why you keep talking about that, Coach? Why you keep talking about that? Because doing this for 25 years, you know what's to come down the pipe. A lot of people can't see the future. They see the moment. They're not understanding the movement. And it's funny. You go on here today, these same people, they need to be in the portal. I mean, they need to be in high school recruiting these guys. Look at that. Saying it now, that's what made me a hater. Tab from Texas told me nobody Coach Prime don't want to sit on your roach-infested couch. Huh?
And I was
saying the third. And I just said this real quick for you run with it, but this is now where you had to play that kind of evenly, where you still had those guys. I get it, but then you had the opportunity to get some of those high school guys, and I think this is where you may be heading. Then you got to play them. You got to give them a little taste.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I'm not big. I definitely agree with Coach Brown. I don't think he has to come out on the road and come into your house and whether you have an expensive house or even or you have a roach infested house. I think once you go up there, now he doesn't have to do all that. And I think he developed relationships with the kids' parents that he was recruiting. I get that, and you know as well as I do. Once they got you, they ain't talking to mom and daddies no more. They talking to the kids. That's recruiting 101. I tell parents that all the time. You better look. And honestly, I think it's wise for him to have people come to Colorado and see Colorado. Versus him just coming to your home telling you, it's going to be great. And one thing I admire about him, he keeps it real. He really, really does. But I think one of the things that you just brought up, like, you bring in kids, and I don't know if this is so much. One thing I admire about Coach Prime too, and we had this conversation, and you've been a coach. You got to let your coaches coach, like as a head coach. You really do. I mean, so he don't go in there and be like, oh, you got to play this guy, you got to play that guy. He lets the position coaches choose who they want to play. And then if it's an issue, he going to deal with you. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of times I think, I think the biggest issue is so much turnover on the coaching staff, personally. I think because now you got a guy that comes in, he want his guy. He want his wide receiver. He want his running back. He want his offensive line. He want his linebacker. Guys that change, and that can sometimes, be an issue. But at the end of the day, man, like, if a lot of these kids are leaving Colorado, a lot of underclassmen, and they going to other schools, they're doing well. So either I think there's definitely been an issue of evaluating talent. There's been a lot of guys that come up there with a lot of hype, and then they don't reach the same standards. You know what I'm saying? And then people aren't patient with them. They're ready for them to go and all those kind of things. Because everybody want to win, but that thing that happened at TCU was a once in a lifetime type thing. Mm-hmm. It really was. Especially nowadays, because everybody has NIL, everybody has this and that. NIL. And
you're talking about the natty run they made, not the win.
The year before Colorado. Yeah.
But I want to make people make clear that you weren't speaking about Colorado winning TCU. You're talking about the natty run. Those are the anomalies, right? That's the anomaly. And you know what I found out doing this, AJ, that people want to take the exception and make it the rule.
Oh yeah,
it's
that happened one time. That's happened one time. And they want to act like anybody can do it, and it was just right time, right place. My man came in, and they had some pieces. They had a lot of people that got injured the year before. They came back, but I just think, man, one of the things that Colorado has to do is, and I think Coach Prime, is all over it, is, give people opportunity. I love the fact that they gave Stobbs opportunity, and he did well. At the end of the day, though, I don't give a damn what they do and he'll tell you that. I mean, you listen to his press conference, he's really being honest. They got to stop the run. It's just that simple. I mean, you did you can't give up 1,200 yards in 3 games and expect to win. It just don't work like that.
Right. Real quick, let me ask you. You talked about coaching turnover. And I talked about that as well, right? 3 years, coaches turnover, roster turns over, continuity, chemistry. How big is that? Not just in, let's just say, football. How big is that in any team atmosphere, bro?
It's bigger
in corporate or what?
No, you could get away with it in basketball. You really could. Basketball, you could get 5 new guys, because it's a lot, But in football, you have a line that has to, work well together. You had 3 offensive line coaches in 3 years. In football, it's so important because as well as I do, if you got 10 guys doing their job and 1 guy missing assignment, it's probably going to be a negative play, unless you just got Barry Sanders or somebody else back there that make up for it. But I just think that at some point, and hopefully this is the staff. I think if people give him time and this staff here sticks, they're going to be good down the line. Just got it. But the problem is, people, expect, them to be, they were 8-4, so people expect them this year to be 10-2, and the next year win the national championship. And that might I hope they do, but that might not necessarily be the case.
Quickly, speaking of defense, like you said, our defense is a dude.
Yeah.
I watched Robert Livingston his first year. Everybody wanted me to give a take when he first got hired. I say I didn't even know who the dude was. Not trying to be funny, sir. I'm being honest. I don't think anybody knew who this guy was until he was actually hired. Me personally, I'm saying so far.
I did because my cousin played for him in Cincinnati. So that's my cousin played in the secondary for him in Cincinnati.
Okay.
Shameless plug, Trey Flowers. But I knew who he was. But I think that one of the things that he's learning, he never held a coordinator title before he came to Colorado. Cool. And what people don't understand, you still have to give guys opportunities to grow. It's like anybody at your job, you don't really just bust in your job. Just like I remember you doing this right here. Matter of fact, we started together 5-6 years ago, just to watch how you've gotten better over the years. I mean, you really, mastered this.
We're using Be Live.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you got to give Coach Prime. I watch him. He's getting better as a coach. Like people don't understand that the longer you do this stuff, the better you're gonna get. So he needs a little time because I think like the kid that left. I mean, to me, he was a bad boy. Hood, Coach of Hood. I'm telling you, he won. Yeah. He won SEC Player of the Week, like maybe 2 weeks ago. That kid could go, I think Coach Livingston has run his defense, but man, something got to give because they can't stop a run no matter what. And we all know, I don't care if you can have Charles Woodson, Ronnie Lott, Deion Sanders, and Darryl Green, and if somebody's running down your throat, it's gonna be hard, man. I don't care who it is.
It's gonna be hard. But to that point, that's kind of what I was going to with the Robert Livingston. So when he comes up, I don't know the guy, right? I've heard of Charles Kelly prior too.
Right.
So people like for me, they want me to give an assessment of things sometimes, and sometimes I can't because I don't have any baseline. I don't have anything to go off of. So as I watched him last year, and I said, okay, like anything, we all grow, we all do these things. Coming in this year, and I think this is a part of that revolving door, you can't stack Legos on things, right? Because as you go through a season, I know you got 6-7 months prior to the season. All of that is fundamental, foundational stuff. You're not really stacking plays. You're stacking fundamentals. You're stacking foundational principles. All of that stuff in the coaching, right? As you go through the season, then you start stacking your plays and your installs, right?
Right.
The problem, again, an issue I guess I have, maybe I'm old school because it would be when you constantly taking people out, you got to constantly do the same thing because the guy that's coming from, I don't know, San Diego, the guy that's coming from UCLA, the guy that's coming from Alabama, they don't know your principles. They don't know those things. That's the foundation of it, right? That's where you spend the most time. So I say all that to say this year, I see them doing a lot of the same things they did last year. And I'm seeing the reason that is because of so much, the amount of turnover where you have to kind of start again from the reset button, kind of like Groundhog Day in essence. Right. And so I say all that to say, I think the defense will get better over time as they learn it, but it's hard. And right now, these offensive minds are smart. They know how to manipulate. And right now, defensively, they're being manipulated through formation. If you watch them, when they're giving up these plays, and Houston showed that, Houston showed this, when they formation you and motion you, they can determine what you're
in. Did my boy cut out? Yeah, Coach Hayes then cut out. So there you go.
No, I'm here. Well,
you went out for, but you back. Yeah, you good.
Okay. My bad, because y'all hear me? But anyway.
I hear you now.
So with that being said, you got to start, like you say, stacking these things and getting people to understand this stuff. And that's a hard thing to do consistently. And then to go back to you said about Georgia Tech, they're bringing in 11 starters. Think about that. 11 returning starters. So they're stacking domino.
You talking about 11 starters on defense?
No, just overall. just overall.
Yeah.
So if it's 5 and
Yeah,
6, 6 and 5, 4 and 8, whatever.
No, but what they did, what I liked about Georgia Tech and what they did, because I know that staff very well, like they mixed in a lot of these younger guys that they thought were gonna be good. See, you know this, like I tell people, football is a very simple sport, especially when you talk about, high school and college to me, because we know it. We've coached before. We know as a senior coach, you saw Chris Leary and you was like, that boy gonna be good. You knew he was gonna be good. So what'd you do? You put him out there on special teams.
Sure
You made sure he was a freshman, but you knew that he was gonna be like that. And those are the things that as coaches, those are the things, like there's guys at Colorado that can flat out go, but the world don't know, because all they see is they don't get to see the practices. They don't get to see, when game time comes, they never see the guy. And I think that
I don't know about that, AG. You doggone Colt members swear they watch one well-off media video. They know everything. They only know what they want you to see. And I know, but I'm finna just tell you what. Hey, you finna share my pain, brother. You finna share my pain tonight. They think they see one well-off media video. If you notice, they've never showed you a clip from the beginning to the end, because you get to see the formation. You notice they always show you the clip.
They can't. Man, that's smart. They would be idiots to do that. They would be idiots to do that.
Exactly. But you can't tell the Colt members that.
Yeah, we had that conversation, man. With me being a parent, me dealing with the parents, I used to try to, the parents would be frustrated because they would listen to the Colt members. And, me being around football and being around this thing for as long as I have been, I can always tell them, man, you can't pay attention to that stuff. You can't. Like, as a parent, you want your kid to get an education. You want to get in the game. You want them to stay injury free. But you just got to have your kid, focus on trying to become the best kid they can be, the best player they can become. I think, not like, just like Stobbs, he came in and boy, he was great. He was this, he was that, all that kind of stuff.
It was Delaware.
And then they played Houston, and I didn't personally think he played bad. But, everybody's like, oh, he's the worst thing since sliced bread. And it's like, like me personally, I don't get too high, like, because the same fans that love your child will turn on your child. So, but, those are the things that we talk about, man. And honestly, the Colorado fan base was a rabid fan base because they really don't support Colorado. They support Coach Prime. If Prime leave tomorrow, guess what? They going to leave too.
What you mean? They already gone. They in Cleveland.
Yeah.
No, they literally, they went from black and gold to orange and brown. They gone. Like, I hate to say that, but I'm calling a spade a spade. I called them out because that is actually what's happening. If Colorado is winning, they'll be over here chanting and cheering. But right now, the biggest news is when is Shedeur going to be the starter? And they, guess what? Because it's not happening, and it's always hope, maybe. That's what they're hanging on to.
Going in and out, but he'll come back in. There you go.
What you mean?
But like you said, no, you on the screen you went in and out. But like you said, the biggest thing about the fans is they got to understand, man. You're bringing in a new quarterback, regardless of who it is, Salter, Juju, or Stobbs. It's going to take time, but you had, you played a hell of a Georgia Tech team, and Houston, you lost to two teams that are 3-0. Like, what are we talking about?
With identical philosophy, identical
right. And they run it down your throat. And quite frankly, if this is the thing that killed me about people. You can go back to last year. The teams who ran down the throat, we lost to. It's just that simple. I mean, you can go back to the year before that. So until that's fixed, and they brought in guys to fix it, but those guys aren't doing, you're bringing in guys from other places, and they're not doing the job. And that hurts, Colorado. Because until they stop the run, because I'm telling you right now, if you don't think Wyoming going to run the same stuff this weekend, and on top of that, let's make sure we clear. Y'all do know that Coach Flea is the running back coach in Wyoming. You do know
he wants to get back. Shout out to the dog Flea.
Oh, you got to know. If I'm telling you right now, if Flea go in there and win, I'm telling you right now, we're going to have to post bail money. because Flea is from Miami. He gonna be butt naked on the 50-yard line, just like this.
Do that dance. Do that dance. Do that dance.
He gonna be so ignorant that we gonna all be embarrassed. I'm telling you. So they better win this week, because I'm telling you, if Fleet go in there and run for 200-some yards and beat Colorado, man, I wouldn't even want to see that myself. Seriously, I just I wouldn't even want to do that, because I'm telling you, I know.
Hey, first of all, free my dog, Flea. How you got to do from Miami all the way in Wyoming? Free my dog. Free my dog.
Hey, that's my guy too. I saw him saw him on the bus trip. When I saw him at SMU. We sat down and talked, took some pictures. He's the one guy, Colorado, I got some good friends on the staff up there, Coach Kelly, and Flea was there, and those boys. I got to see
David Kelly, man. Hey, that dude, me and him go back way back to UCF days.
Really good people. And I got, so I got, Coach Chaney up there, and all those guys we still talk. I got to see Coach Mo from FAMU. We got to, but I'm telling you, out of all these guys, Flea is from Miami. And one thing, and Coach Hayes will tell you, one thing about Miami guys, they have a little petty Pendergrass in them.
I'm petty. They already know.
Yeah, I'm telling you one thing. I'm just letting y'all know so that if anybody sees this YouTube and Flea wins, please send all donations to get him out of jail to AGYC. I'll make sure that they get out. I'm telling you, because he gonna act a fool.
Hey, that boy might have a Prime made me do this T-shirt on under his coaching shirt.
Hey, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm telling you. I would not be surprised. I'm telling you. The Boulder police better be ready to arrest him, because he's gonna be on the 50 butt naked. I'm telling you. I already see it coming.
Hey,
so Prime don't want to, and Prime ex-athlete too. Prime ain't trying to lose this game. I guarantee that Prime finna get in the lab this game. He might have to cut some coaches' throats, because Prime is, he people he really is a good guy, man. That's what people don't understand. He really is a good. He try to let dudes do their job, all that kind of stuff. But I think he might have to take over, because he ain't trying to lose this one.
So quickly, you said that a couple times. Let me just say this very quick. I am Petty Pendergrass, and my wife's name is Petty LaBelle, and we sing a beautiful duet. But anyway, let me say this. Let me say this. You brought this up a couple times. You talked about how you let coaches coach. Can that be a coach's Achilles heel?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, most definitely. Because if you talk to them kids, man, they all respect Prime. They all rock with him. The kids don't have an issue with Prime. They have issues with other, probably maybe, and really some rooms ain't got no issues. But there are some rooms that have issues, and when you're a recruiting staff and you bring in guys, and guys there feel like they're better than those guys, that's always going to be a problem. If I'm gonna go out in the portal, it's going to be clear that this guy is this. I done went and got Jordan Seaton to come start. If Jordan Seaton decides to leave Colorado, there's not one dude ever that's going to be able to say, "Oh, coach, I'm better than him." You know what I'm saying? What are you gonna say? Seriously, because Jordan Seaton, he out there doing work this year. He really is doing work. If you paying attention.
So here's my question then. So is that a problem? I think so, because here it is. I want to make sure we all understand that. I titled this show, Coach Prime in Colorado Facing Major Problems This Season. We talked about that. And I'll give you all a quick story. I tell you, I'm a defensive guy by nature. I had an OC. He wasn't doing what I like to do. You know what I did? I sat his A down and I did it. Mm-hmm. Because here's what I tell people. I said this a long time ago. And Coach Prime is actually in the same boat. He just took a different path. Mm-hmm. I worked extremely hard to get that opportunity. And I was be damned if I let some other dude wreck my ship. If I got fired, it was because, man, Coach Hayes did that. Not because some assistant coach, not because of something else, right? Because when your name is on the marquee, that's what really matters, right? Because here's the deal. At the end of the day, Coach Prime He's the one facing the heat, not Robert Livingston. People could get on Pat Shermer, but at the end of the day, it's a Coach Prime issue because you have head coach as a title. So what I'm saying is, knowing the way we see the iceberg coming, do you still let the first mate steer the ship, or do you kick his behind out the way and say, look here, this is how it's going to go?
I think that's what's about to go down. I mean, from the outside looking in, I don't have any, I used to have some inside information, but now, I'm focused on where my son is at, and, but I still want Colorado to be successful as hell. But I'm pretty sure Coach Prime is going to take the Rams, and he's been very generous because they've been winning too. Think about it. Everything has been successful. Even like I tell people, even the year they went 4-8, they had only won one game the year before. So, you can't hold that against them. Like last year was a pretty successful year. It's gotten off rocky right now. I guarantee you Coach Prime is going to start making decisions. Guaranteed. Because he's like that.
Where do you think he starts first? Where do you think he should start? You're the head coach right now. Where do you start?
Defense. Got to. I think that, we can't be giving up 400 yards. It's that simple. And he kind of if you really look at it, he kind of did that against Delaware a little bit. He started, certain guys were taken out, certain guys that didn't get to play that much against Georgia Tech on defense, and he put other guys in. We saw that. I think, there's guys that, like, I'll say this, I know there are guys that I feel could help do better jobs in positions on offense and defense. And, you got to get your dogs out in the field. It's just that simple. Like, I don't, but ultimately, if they don't stop, that front seven doesn't get better because they have a good secondary. They, quite frankly, they're going to have a good secondary regardless. They could always afford to lose a couple of kids in the secondary because, the secondary coaches very well. And Coach Prime is like a basic secondary coach. So, they're going to always be tight there. But that front seven is going to have to tighten up. It's just that simple. And I think that Coach Prime is going to take, because our defense is designed, when I look at our defense, and this is where I take this back. This is where the Tredours and the high-flying offense came into play. Our defense is the kind of defense once they get up, like when you have to rush the passer, that's what our defense is designed to do. It's designed to stop someone really passing the ball, if you look at it. We struggle when someone runs the ball. We've all, historically, since we've been in Colorado, there's been a struggle when someone ran the ball. But, but I'm telling you, when
how do you stop it, though, AG? Like, how do you stop the bleeding? We're trying to get you to the hospital. We got to stop the bleeding.
Hey, man, they're going to have to go 8-man fronts or something, man, because, they're going to have to go 8-man fronts just to stop the run. And then back off into some zones. Because,
and I'll tell you this, but I'm going to tell you this. I don't believe Colorado is big enough.
Oh, no, not a trick.
Within the box.
But they brought in some big guys in the transfer portal, and those guys haven't panned out. So
right.
that's part of the problem.
Right. And so I'm saying this to say, because they're playing a lot of man on the back end, as you look at the good, the bad, and ugly, y'all go check that out. Shameless plug. What I'm saying is, this is a copycat league. I did the same thing. I would see a play that worked or a concept that worked on a different team. And if it was in my playbook, we're going to try it until I found out they figure out how to stop it. And if they didn't, we're going to run it till the wheels fall off that thing. And when the wheels fall off, put them back on and keep running until they fall off again. So I'm saying all this to say, okay, in my book, Wyoming, I think should be a win. I don't care who the quarterback is.
I agree.
I think Wyoming should be a W. Shout out to Coach Flea. I don't think Coach Flea get an opportunity to be butt naked on the 50. However, pause moment, I guess. I don't know what I'm talking about. But here's what I'll say. If y'all just jumped in, probably missed it.
All the way.
But going forward, you got a BYU. You got a TCU who's playing pretty good ball this year. And Iowa State, a Utah. Arizona, I think, is better than people anticipated. West Virginia got a running back out there that's balling, right? Arizona State, I don't think is what they are. However, they still got some players out there, and they got a player from Colorado that's balling. We'll talk about that here in a second. And I think Kansas State is the only one that's left on the roster that ain't really holding up their weight. So they got a lot of gangsters.
But that's because Dylan ain't played. Dylan ain't played at Kansas State.
Yeah, he got hurt on the
he makes a difference. He makes a difference. The best player hasn't played.
Yeah, but I mean the quarterback is not doing well either.
Kid.
Yeah, right. He got hurt on that punt return or whatever. Somebody fell his ankle or something. But what I'm saying is their back end of their schedule is heavy with run.
Everybody's running. The only team that may pass a little bit is Arizona State, and Arizona may. But honestly, Arizona's been toting that thing too. So to be honest, the only team that's probably going to pass the ball is Arizona State.
Correct, and because Arizona lost the receiver, is the quarterback still up for Heal?
He's still there, but and he throws a little bit because I watched the game against Kansas State, but they was toting that thing. I think the running back had like 170, 180, something like that.
Mm-hmm. So I guess going forward, how do you fix it? Is the real question. You playing man, you got guys coming, you going all out blitz. Shout out to Livingston in regards to showing a third and long situation, make you throw it quick, fast, and early. We'll rally to the tackle. But they got to find a way to fix it. And I think that's going to be one of the hardest feats because you don't have a continuity. Here's my second question to you, AJ. What's up with the quarterback situation in your opinion? Do you think Prime handled it correctly? Don't you think? How do you think? Or do you think there's a problem at all? Because I don't know.
Man, I personally think it's not really a issue. I don't know if, and I'm biased because Staub is my guy, but I don't know if I would have said Salter. I don't think that, like when you look at what Salter did, he was 10 for 12 and a touchdown.
13 for 16.
I don't have the numbers, but he really didn't do too bad. Yeah, I mean, you're right. He, and it was like 100 yards or something like that. But it was no turnover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Staub's my guy. Staub's definitely pushed it up the field a lot. More. But I have faith in Staubs. I have faith in. I don't think the quarterback room is the issue. I think really it's the defense, and I think people don't understand football is the one sport that it's like simpatico. No matter what the offensive is doing, if the defense because this because you're a defensive guy, the worst thing you want somebody to do to you is run it down your throat. That's the worst thing that a person can do. I'd rather you bomb me for 500, 600 yards than to run it down my throat. Because that means you're tougher than me. That means I really don't stand a shot. Versus if you bomb me, I could deal with that. But you just punching me like them little straight body blows, that'll kill you.
Just jabbing me to death. Yeah, I used to get Chico body blows. Shout out to Chico in the building. I used to get that boy body blows. Right. I told you I'm petty, boy. But anyway,
petty Pendergrass.
Petty Pendergrass. Turn them off. Huh? But anyway, here's what the reason I'm bringing this up, but I do think the quarterback room is an issue. I don't think it's an issue from I don't think it's an issue from an athlete. I think it's an issue from a continuity, a confidence, and a leadership standpoint. If every day I'm looking at another general, who do I follow? Right? Who is our leader? Take me to your leader. Who is it? Is it Caden Salter? Is it Ryan Staub? I think once that's unclear, it's hard for teams to follow, right? It's hard for teams to say, because after the head coach, it's the quarterback. Even the quarterback can go to the defense and talk. Nobody on the defense can come to the offense. We saw Peyton Manning go over to the defense and get them the business. And everybody did like this.
Oh, no, that's fair.
Right? I ain't never seen Ed Reed, as vocal as he is, go to Joe Flacco and cuss him out.
No.
So but what I'm saying is,
because I hear what you're saying. Do you feel because you brought up the question about leadership. So you're thinking that the players, like on the offensive side of the ball, don't know who the real leader is of the team right now. And you think that what you're saying is you think that Coach Prime needs to just come out and say, hey, this guy's gonna lead us and lead us forward. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, because no one has clearly. Again, this is my opinion, and kind of what I gathered from Prime today. Maybe Caden Salter's not doing some things off the field to be that leader. But I'm gonna go back and say this: if I take it just from the plain aspect, let's just take it from that aspect first. Then we can go to maybe off the field stuff. I haven't done anything to be demoted. Right? Then when you bring in Ryan Staub, because you play, for lack of better terms, musical chairs with the quarterbacks against Delaware because you felt Delaware was an inferior opponent.
Right.
So therefore, you could do what you did by giving me 2 reps, giving Juju 2 reps, giving Ryan Staub 2 reps. Shout out to Ryan Staub. Ryan Staub said, guess what, homeboy? Hey, Coach Prime, I ain't here to play with you. I'm finna give you this work. And that's exactly what he did. And Ryan Staub created this dilemma.
And he's supposed to.
As he should.
Yeah.
As he should. I'm not knocking it. That boy Brian said Ryan Staub is a DEI hire. Well, you shut up. Listen.
Who said that? Who said that?
That boy Ryan says Ryan says Ryan Staub is a DEI hire. Listen. So what I'm saying is, to Ryan Staub's credit against Delaware, he maximized his opportunity to the most you could. And he created doubt in your leader, which was Caden Salter, who clearly was your leader from the time in which he stepped foot on campus. It was Ryan, it was Caden Salter, Juju Lewis, and then Ryan Staub.
Do you really believe that though? I mean, the question I have for you, do you believe once he stepped on campus, he was the guy because he's the guy you paying. But like I always tell people, like you can give a guy all the money in the world, that don't mean he's gonna be a leader.
Hold on, fair enough. But I always say this though, AG, when you open the windows to your house and you let people look in, you allow them to create a perception about your family. So when you open up the well-off media windows and you only see Caden Salter taking first-team reps and Juju Lewis taking second-team reps and Ryan Staub taking third-string reps, what do you conclude?
But remember what you just said earlier, because you said it so elegantly. Like they're not showing everything. And obviously, Coach Prime obviously had to have some faith in Ryan because if he didn't, you'd have never got, one thing I know for sure. He had to have some faith in him because if you didn't, bro, you wouldn't have gotten what you got. Think about it. In fairness to Coach Prime, I think he saw stuff in practice. And I think it wasn't what he did in the game. I think Ryan was, doing his thing in practice. And I think that's what, in fairness to Coach Prime, I think that's what made him think about it. Ryan made Coach Prime think about that. Because if Ryan was up there stinged up in practice, he'd have never got that opportunity.
Fair indeed. Nothing wrong with
that. And maybe Juju wasn't doing, I don't know this, but let's say he wasn't doing everything he's supposed to do. One thing I definitely admire about Coach Prime, he don't play that shit. I don't care what nobody say. He will bench you. I don't care if he do not play like he just don't play it. Because I got to give him credit. So I'm like you. For Juju to fall, I'm not Juju for that young man to fall.
Salter.
I'm telling you, it had to be something because Coach Prime, I wasn't there, but I'm telling you, and my son wasn't there, and we ain't had those conversations. But one thing I admire about Coach Prime, he does not play that.
Yeah, but AG, I gotta say this, dog. And he said you closer to it necessarily than not. I can agree that I think Ryan Staub is a formidable quarterback. I don't think he's the answer. However, I go back to what I said. Coach Prime playing blew up in his face, didn't expect Ryan Staub. He stuck to his guns and probably told him, hey, guys, everybody going to get two series each to start this out, and then we'll go from there. And Ryan Staub took advantage of it. But if Ryan Staub was doing what he did, then why is he not number 2, at least on the depth chart, over Juju? Why was he not even 1 coming into the season?
like now, number one, now let's be real. Juju probably getting so much money that you couldn't put Juju as third, and that's just being honest. Let's just be real about that.
So that's my whole point.
So I'm not even tripping on that because that goes on around the country when these young freshmen come in. Like it ain't just a quarterback situation. They gonna put guys if they give them bread, they're gonna put them in front of guys that they're not giving that kind of bread to. But I think to your point, and that's the thing I hate about NIL because NIL now, guys, you don't have a real depth chart to me because now a guy may be really the 2. But we got to put him in 3 because that's another thing that people don't understand. People will put out depth charts, and that's why you're like, well, this dude was 2 on the depth chart. How does guy number 3 jump in front of him? Because people pay attention to the quarterback, but they don't pay attention to the linebacker, to the defensive end. They don't pay attention.
No.
Correct. But we know because we've been around it. But I would say this. I don't think that I keep saying Salter, in my opinion, did not play bad enough to where he should have lost the job.
Exactly.
But I also think that if there's other stuff going on, I could see why he might have lost the job. Like if
so now back to that point. Hold on, but back to that point. If Prime ain't playing the radio, what did Caden Salter do from Georgia Tech to Delaware, where he started Georgia Tech? Basically, he played the whole game of Georgia Tech. You got a week of practice, a short week at that, because you played on a Friday. You still started Delaware game. What I'm saying is, even if there was some off the field issues, and if Prime ain't playing the radio, then why was he still starting? If that's the case, like, so my point is, either Prime was playing the radio.
You're saying, yeah.
What I'm saying is, if Prime was playing the radio and allowing him to be who he is, and he's messing up, coming late to meet, whatever it was, because he started Georgia Tech, played that whole game, started Delaware, got the first 2 reps. Juju came in, ran his 2, was came in and came out. Ryan Staub pushed him down there for the halftime score, and then came back in and threw him down the field, and then Caden Salter ended up playing mop-up duty. And then
you know what?
He loses his job to the third-string guy. So my question is, what has Caden Salter done where he's been benched? Even if it is off the field issues, he should have been benched prior to.
Well, maybe it wasn't. Maybe because there's different levels to stuff too now. And maybe it was. I don't know what it was, but maybe it was something that he didn't feel he could be benched for. But we all know that something had to happen for Prime to go 2-2-2. And quite frankly, I don't know if Prime goes 2-2-2 against Houston.
He did it because it was Delaware.
Because he did so sometimes you want to, and I personally don't think Prime really thought that. I'm with you. I don't know if he really knew that Salter was going to light it up like that. Not Salter, Stars. So I think it was, hey, I personally don't know, so I don't. But I will say, we know enough football to know that it had to be something. Like we know enough to know that there was something to this. We just don't know what it was.
I thought it was. I hate to say this. I think it was a full feel-good thing, right? It was a payment for his loyalty. Because he even told Ryan Staub, he said in a press conference last year, Ryan Staub is going to be a good quarterback for someone.
You don't know that? You're talking about 2 years ago.
Yeah, he said.
That's when Staubs played the game against Washington, and I'm pretty sure Coach Prime.
Utah.
I'm pretty sure Coach Prime thought that Staub was going to leave because
right.
that's what most guys would do because he showed he could play, and then he showed he could play. So most guys would have gotten the portal, but he didn't. And
that's why I say I thought Delaware was a loyalty payment. Like, hey man, and it backfired.
I don't think so, man. I really think, man, and I could be wrong. I just don't like I just think that because when I looked at some of the stuff that I saw with Salter after the game, after the loss, it wasn't very quarterbackish.
What do you mean?
As a quarterback, we've had this conversation before. As a quarterback, you can throw it to the wide receiver, that bitch catch it, fumble, and the quarterback, you supposed to go in and be like, hey man, my bad, I should have thrown it a certain way. You as a quarterback, you can't never put blame on your teammates. That's impossible. Like that's my first rule when for those who don't know, I used to run. I used to be a guy that started a whole bunch of 707 and and all this other stuff, man. But my first rule to any quarterback, you have to take responsibility, even when it's not your fault. It's almost like being married. I got a wife in there right now. Half the time, the shit she complained to me about, I promise you I ain't did none of it. But I know that I have to, oh, baby, I'm so sorry. Baby, you know what? When I talked to you today, when I screamed at you because, you spent $5,000, I want to apologize, baby. That was my fault. I should have just been more confident to you.
Not me, AG. Not me.
Married. But you ain't married.
You
That's
better
why you ain't married.
I was married to Lex. Hold up, me and Lexus was married. And guess what?
You ain't married.
Lexus.
That's why you ain't married.
Hold up, AG. Lexus. I know you mad at me, baby. And you came on here and she was talking. AG, I hung up on her. I hung up on Lexus. Hey, I had to apologize. I had to apologize 3 times, and she kept going. And get what I gave her? You
never get them back. And I'm just telling you, man, I think that, as it has to be more than what we know. And when I watched the comments that he made and I saw like some of the stuff that he said, your quarterback can't do that. I mean, and Coach Prime's been around enough football, and he's been around elite quarterbacks his whole life.
Still, that's a teachable moment. That's not a benchable moment.
Well, it wasn't benched. I mean, what happened was he's not benched because he was benched because Salter came in, Ryan Staub came in and kicked ass. You think if Ryan Staub?
I disagree. I disagree. Real quick, $5 from FPSD for the $5. Coach Hayes, you need to have this man on your show more often. Great thinker. All right. Here's why I say I disagree. I think it's a false positive. Here's why I say this. Ryan Staub threw some errant throws against Georgia Tech. Yes. No ifs, ands, or maybes. Yes. It was the perfect storm. Ryan Staub starts his 2 series at 35 seconds. Optically, all of the Colt members, he pushes the ball downfield because it's 35 seconds and a half. His first 2 throws were errant. I'm not tripping. One of them could have been picked, but it wasn't. It was batted down. The long run kicks off that drive. He throws the check down to the running back who scores. Great, no problem. He comes in, he throws he checks off, he throws the vertical ball. Good ball. He throws the second vertical ball. He was 7 of 10. Now let's put it in context. Caden Salter plays the first 2 drives. He gets dink and dunk throws. He don't push the ball downfield. Those are not the calls. And I'm going to show you exactly why those are not the calls. Even though he scored, both of those drives were scoring drives. One, he scored a touchdown, 100% accuracy on those throws. The second drive, he missed 3 throws. They got a field goal out of it. He doesn't come back in the game for 2 hours. Right? Here's why I say it's a false positive. Now let's look at Ryan Staub against Houston. They were in the third quarter. I brought this up in the good, bad, and ugly. Shameless plug. Go check it out. Film breakdown. Where was his vertical push? His first throws, everything's the same. It looked just like Caden Salter. There was no vertical ball. Why? It's the beginning of the game. The scenario didn't dictate or determine that he had to push the ball down the field. Right? The situations are totally different. Here's my second thing. And again, I'm not trying to pit the two. I'm trying to say why Caden Salter looked a certain way versus Ryan Staub. Ryan Staub felt good because it looked good, because the situation dictated that. But when you look at Caden Salter, I'm the reason we 10-0. And I'm sitting down like this.
But
I don't 2 hours. I don't come back in the game.
What I tell you from the start, I don't think on the field he did anything the way he should lose the job. I'm not there, but I know that that Delaware game, he had a decent game. Stobbs had a decent game. Period. We don't know what's going on, but we do know because we coached before. We done had, like I try to tell all kids, like all the kids I deal with, you need to make sure your attitude doesn't mess up your altitude.
Okay.
So I wasn't there, ain't talked to nobody, but I guarantee you, just by what went down, that it had to be something with that young man. And when I saw a lot of his comments after the Georgia Tech loss and some of the things, it just wasn't very leadership wise. And if you listen to the press conference that Coach Prime had, he brought up leadership a few times, right?
Yeah, leadership and consistency. Sure.
Right. So you don't want to be in a situation where you got the messed up, like, because let's just cut to the chase. I'm gonna give you an example. I use this as an example all the time. Do you feel Terrell Owens could have played another 5 more years in the NFL?
I'm sorry, kind of broke up. Do I think who could have played another 5?
See, he's not here, but I'll say it. He definitely could have played more in the NFL.
I'm here. I'm here.
Do you believe that? See, you going in and out. But do you believe that Terrell Owens could have played longer in the NFL?
Sure. I believe he could have. Maybe not as effective, but definitely could have played.
Right.
Yeah.
Or why didn't he?
Because there was a perception of him, right?
Correct. Whether fair or unfair, like, because I don't think he was a bad teammate. I never heard anything, but he was definitely like
he was brash. He was abrasive, sure.
Right, and they definitely wasn't ready for the brash, abrasive black man back then. So what I'm saying to you is, sometimes these kids, we're not there. But one thing I know about Coach Prime, he ain't gonna put up with too much BS like that. And I just don't. So I just personally believe, and this is my personal opinion, the kid is, because Coach Prime is steady throwing out leadership. Every time people talk about quarterbacks, I've heard that a few times. So I think that is the issue. I think that Salter, and Staub, whoever does well this game, and for all we know, it might be Salter. But I think going forward, whoever you're going to go with, eventually that's going to have to come out. This is our guy for the rest of the season unless he get hurt. We're pretty much, at that point, in my opinion. Because I do agree, you got to know who's going to be leading the ship. As far as the OC needs to know that so he can draw plays that fit that guy. And the team needs to know that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just feel like,
and maybe he had to sit down. Who knows? Maybe him sitting down and him going, this may have challenged his leadership. I gotta adhere to Coach Prime on this one, man. He's there, so he knows what he needs to do. And well,
here's my deal. If he's so transparent, then again, if he's transparent, baby, then I would say the same in which he did, kind of way he did Kamani. I would say, listen, right now, Caden Salt got to work on some things from a leadership perspective and do that, because right now, Idle Mind is the devil's workshop. Right? And that's what's happening.
Yeah, hold on. The difference is this. Like, Kamani was the number 1 corner in the country, and he was getting pressure from outside folks to play him. Nobody's pressuring him to play Salter. I mean, we all know, like, Kamani was the number 1 guy in the country, top 4. Everybody in the world want to know why he ain't. Everybody want to see him and Travis on the field at the same time. Period. So that was the difference. Like, he's getting questions. Like, I think his plan was not to play Kamani till he was ready. Matter of fact, I think we was at the game. Were we at that game when he went out there at USC?
I don't know. He was there. He was there.
That's the game that they threw him out there. But he wasn't ready, and that's what he's not doing to Juju. Like, he knows that Juju's going to be good, and for Colorado Buck Nation, the kid is going to be good. Let's make sure we're clear about that. He's the future. But right now, he still have like every kid, when you come to college, man, it's a learning experience. I don't care how good you were. Travis, if you look at what Travis did at Jackson State, you would say that he wasn't doing nothing. But kids got to learn. It's like the day of the freshman coming in, killing it. That don't happen all like that all the time.
I don't know, bro. I just know two things. Two things that I know. One, they're gonna have to fix this doggone defense. If you don't mind, one more time you got, I want to open the phone line and let people ask you.
I got all the time in the world. I ain't doing that today.
Right. So, one is Prime got. Let me open up the phone line here now. Let the queue build up a little bit. Right here, 862-799-9956. Please feel free to call on in and build the queue up, and we go ahead and get this thing rolling. But as we go ahead and finish talking here, two things definitely have to be, and you can't put a Band-Aid on it. These need stitches. The defensive run game needs stitches.
No doubt.
Not a Band-Aid. You're going to bleed to death. And the second is you have to get, and to Coach Prime say he don't know what solidified means. He need a solidified quarterback. You need to make a guy a starter. Whoever that guy is. Until he jumps off the cliff himself, and then you have to make a different decision. But you can't say you ain't going to play musical chairs, and we playing musical chairs.
But I think, too, you got to also, Coach Hayes, remember this. He's about to go up against a team in Wyoming that he cannot afford to lose to. So I'm not going to give you no information anyway. I'm going to have you prepare for both of them. If you have to prepare for two, you really ain't preparing like you don't have to prepare for
here's my thing. I don't care about leading up to this week. I'm talking about going forward into the game. Yeah, listen, man. Hey, you know what? The other dude finna play too. What's the other cat? The fifth string cat. He finna play this week too. I'm cool with that. Whatever. Right. Matter of fact, I got a son y'all didn't even know about. He on the team. He finna be quarterback. His name Shadont. The other one name Shadua. His name Shadont. You better watch out. I'm just saying, I don't care about that, but we all know when the rubber hit the road, we better see some tire marks. That's all I'm saying.
No, it's about to go down. I think that it's going to definitely go down here shortly. I think that we gonna see real soon. After this game, I think whoever ends this game against Wyoming is going to be your future starting quarterback in Colorado. That's just what I believe.
So not who starts it, whoever ends it.
Correct. I'm not going with who starts it.
Hold on, I want to be clear about this before we get our caller 0748 on the line. Hold on. So if Ryan Staub starts Wyoming, Caden Salter, I think you might see a Juju sighting at the very end. So you're not going to talk about the mop-up time, right? The last 4 minutes. Because I think he's got 4 games to play. I don't see where he plays. Just me right now looking forward to maybe a K-State game. You definitely want to get him in some games because going next year, it'll be between he and Ryan Staub fighting for it because Caden Salter will be gone. What I'm going to say is, okay, I want to understand it. So Ryan Staub starts out the game. Caden Salter comes in beginning of the third, right? Caden Salter's your guy. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I think whoever ends the game, and when I say, I'm with you, we're not talking about the last 5 minutes when Juju's in there, which, I mean, we both hoping, I'm hoping it's a blowout. I'm hoping it's not, they got to fight Wyoming to the last 3 minutes of the game. Because then that's going to be a long season if that happens. But I think that whoever ends up, under center, before Juju comes in, that's gonna be your starter rest of the year, folks.
Bro, they don't even have a Wyoming box score. I gotta go try to find it somewhere. Gee whiz. Okay, here we go. Wyoming played Utah and lost. Listen to this now. Wyoming just played Utah and lost 31-6.
Utah ain't bad this shit, though, man.
I know, but that's pretty good. Let me see what they put up.
Right. Wyoming
God dang. Utah put up 541 total yards. Wyoming put up 229, 108 passing, 121 rushing. They just got dominated. Yeah. And then let me see what they did against Northern Iowa. I believe that's who they played.
They played Akron, I thought.
They played Northern Iowa. They played Akron the week before that. So Northern Iowa was the previous week. and Wyoming put up 379 yards, 190 passing, 189 rushing. So they seem to be a pretty level team because even
it's going to be they probably running a little bit. What was the score in that game?
31-7. Wyoming was up 31-7.
Okay.
And then Wyoming beat Akron. They put up 426, 260 passing, 166 rushing. Against Akron. Akron's not very good at all by any means.
No.
But bro, holy smoke, this dude had 29 carries for 132 yards. Yowzers. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to find out. But let's go and take this first caller, 0748 on the line. Caller, talk to us. Give us your name, where you calling from. What's your thoughts?
This is Mike from Augusta, Georgia. How you doing, Coach? What's up, AJ?
Mike,
what's good, Mike? How you doing, bro?
Good, man. I was just calling to get my perspective on everything, but I just feel like, going forward, the defense just need to complement the offense. Well, the offense need to complement the defense. Especially when it's third down, you gotta be able to move the ball so you can give the defense time to catch a breather. If the defense stays on the field all game, they don't give them no type of breather, and that puts a lot of pressure on the defense. If the offense is not scoring or even converting on third down, so you got to complement the offense with the defense. Secondly, I just feel like with the quarterback situation, if they looking at it as who gives us the best chance to win, they need to just go ahead and just put Salsa in, or if they have a 2-quarterback system, then have a 2-quarterback system. But don't sit there and act like it's a quarterback controversy. Who gives us the best chance to win the ball game? Period. I just feel like that as a team, since Coach Prime was gone for the first 6 months before summer camp, the continuity and the chemistry of the team wasn't gelled together properly. So it's all discombobulated, and that's a big problem when you're going into a season. So they just need to just get things figured out. It's not complicated. You just gotta get things figured out before Jordan Seaton and Juju and all these guys y'all brought in decide to transfer. So, but whoever the quarterback is, they need to have a playbook for him to where it's gonna benefit him and benefit his skill level to where he can be able to, be comfortable in that system. But if they don't figure it out, I feel like the season is over with. Period.
Hey man, he brought up some valid points, bro. That's good, because if the defense, if the offense is steady out there, they're gonna get tired anyway. So that's a valid point. I love his point about, Coach. That is something that no one thinks about. Coach Prime was out, man. So your leader wasn't there, and it doesn't. And no matter what sport you're in, when your leader isn't there, that's always a issue. You know what I'm saying? So that's a valid point, because the team hasn't had opportunity to gel like probably they should, and they're kind of going through some growing pains. But I didn't think about that. That's actually a very good point.
Yeah, real quick, man. Chris E for the $9.99 super sticker. Thank you very much, Chris E. Glad you're back in the building with us, man, and being a good sport. Like I said, I think all of those are very valid points. I just think what's happening now is this is when you find out your superhero is a real human being. What's happening right now? Right? When you find out Superman bleeds like Clark Kent. You get where I'm going with this? Like,
where are you going?
You came in, the hype to this, oh Lord, we done lost my dog. The hype to this, all these great things. And then you come to find out, you know what I'm saying? That, wait a minute, Co-Prime human. This is a real team. Just because you have a gold jacket doesn't mean everything's going to work in your favor, right? Just because you got a team full of coaches with experience and Falk and Sapp and all these other guys, It doesn't always work out the way in which you think it is. And I think that's what people don't understand about this game. This game is unforgiving, bro.
No doubt.
Right.
It is unforgiving. It don't care who you are. Right? We've seen some of the best players in the world. Right? The best player in the world have a toe injury.
Yeah, no.
You never play again. You know what I'm saying? And never play again. Then you got some guys who get blasted and they mediocre and have a career for 20 years.
Yeah.
It's a wild game, man. But go ahead, say your last piece of it. We got the phone lines are backing up, looking like I-4 on this thing, man.
I just feel like if you got all that experience with the coaching, I feel like the fundamentals of the game need to be properly taught before anything. You can have all that experience, everything, all you want to, gold jackets. But if the fundamentals of the game ain't teach properly like it's supposed to, tackling, blocking, just scheme-wise, gap-wise, then you're not going to be a very good team, period. So,
yeah. Well, much love to you, man. Mike from Augusta. Thank you, man, so much. I appreciate that.
Already.
Yes, sir. Here's what I'll say, too. And you said something, too, AG, and I try to bring this up to people. They don't care. They don't care what Coach got to say. Because you have a gold jacket, that doesn't mean you're a gold jacket coach. I'm not saying you won't be. I'm not saying you can't be. But it's a different skill set. I'm not saying you don't bring valuable knowledge to the coaching realm with that gold jacket. But there are things that you did earning that gold jacket that you would have never done as a coach. Like what time the kids eat. Why is that important? You didn't care. You showed up to the dining table. Right? Like these are the simple things. Practice structure. When has a player ever thought about the structure of practice? Or does he wait to hear inside run? All right, let's go to inside run. Here we go. You heard Prime bring that up today in his press conference, changing it up on Mondays because typically Mondays are your worst practices. Most players ain't thinking that. So I'm saying that to say, not to say that Sapp, and we know Sapp been here coaching from Central Florida, Marshall Faulk, of course. But there are things in the coaching realm that are totally different from the players' realm and vice versa. And vice versa. And you learn that as you go, the same way you learn that as a player. I guarantee Marshall Faulk or Warren Sapp was not a gold jacket player the first time they put a helmet on. They had the potential to be, but they learned in the process. And that's just what it is. Let me go ahead and jump on to this next caller because they coming in here like hotcakes in this thing. 2551. Then I got the Ohio player. Then I got my man Stretch, a.k.a. Mike Lowry. 2551 on the line. Caller, talk to us. Give us your name. Where you calling from?
Hi, Coach. This is Letitia Harris. You remember me?
I do remember you, Letitia. How are you?
I'm good. I'm back since, Colorado's back, so I'm back.
See you aunties in effect.
I do have my opinion.
All right, we ready to hear it.
Okay, so I think Coach Prime needs to calm down. First of all, he's trying to move too fast. He wants good results too fast. Now remember, he lost his superstars. He lost Shador. He lost Travis. But remember, when Shador was in, I don't care what kind of mistake Shador made. He did not switch him out like that. All this switching out and not giving these boys a chance to prove themselves, I think that, he's not being fair because he would not have done that to Shador or Travis. So removing Salt wasn't even doing a bad job, and removing Salt and doing what he did with Staub or whatever his name, I really think those weren't good moves that he made. And then to start Staub for the next game just because he did well the first game when Salt didn't even do bad. So I don't really like what he's doing because he shouldn't be moving them, making those type of moves like that quickly. He would have never done that with Shador.
All right, really quickly, Letitia, we're going to take a break right in there just so we can answer this in pieces. AG, like you ready to speak?
Oh no, hey man, I was just listening to what on that one right there. I'm just gonna sip my tea because I don't want no parts of that. Letitia came in hot. She wasn't giving no cold tea. She came with hot tea.
No, I tell you, you got to deal with what I deal with.
Woo!
No, AG, you got to deal with what I deal with. Go ahead, I'm gonna let you answer that. No,
this Coach Hayes show. This Coach Hayes show. No, but Letitia, you bring up some valid points. You really do. I think though, like I said earlier, I personally think that and I don't have any knowledge. I haven't asked nobody because I really try to stay away from it. But I'm pretty sure that the only reason all that went down like it did, that there has to be something more behind the scenes. Because I'm with you. I've never known, Coach Prime, he usually, think about it. Who hasn't he really stuck with? You know what I'm saying? He sticks with his guys. Right. And quite frankly, that's why you got a lot of the guys that transferred out, because they didn't feel like they were getting the opportunities. So you had a valid point. So I think that it had to be a little more because I'm with you guys, and and once again I'm going to preface this. I love Ryan Stobbs. He's a great kid. Dad is a great man. I enjoy my conversations with him. But I thought that Salter didn't do anything to, if we just talking about physical, what happened on the field, I don't know how you lose your job for 10 for 13 and score 10 points. So I think that there had to be more there that we don't know about personally.
I'm just thinking that he wants results too fast, and being that Shador is not there, he can play with these boys like that, but I don't think it's fair. You don't just switch out somebody, because you want a few more touchdowns than they have. I think the first game they did well against Georgia Tech. They made a few mistakes. Okay, just let the same players get used to playing, and get into a rhythm instead of switching them out like that. And that's what, I say, if you're not going to do your sons like that, then don't do these. If I was the mother of, Salt or whomever that was, I would confront him and say, okay, what are we doing here? Because that's just not, the way that I feel that's just not the way you lead.
So let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question if you don't mind. Let me ask you a question. So let's say Salter went in there and cussed out all his teammates after the game. Let's just say something like that happened. Or he did something. I'm not saying he did because I don't know nothing about it, but let's just say Salter did something. Do you think that if he didn't do what he's supposed to do with his teammates, or he did something that was character-wise, do you think he still should have played him? Because I don't think, from all accounts, my son played with Shador, and he said he was a great teammate. So if something like that happened, do you think that Coach Prime, because I just personally believe something had to happen, because I've never known Coach Prime, because I agree with, that's a valid point. I thought Salter played well. So I think it has to be.
So hold on. Let me jump in for a second. If you don't mind, let me jump in for a second. I'm saying I want to say this because, and Letitia, I appreciate you, but I am petty, and I'm about to be just a little bit.
Sure. Here we go.
How long have you been watching this show, Letitia? How long have you been watching this?
Since the beginning of the Prime era in Colorado. I've been with Prime since Jackson.
Okay, but I'm talking about. How long have you been watching my show? Like, how long have you been watching this show?
Your show since the Colorado days.
Okay, gotcha.
Prime went to Colorado.
Do you remember everything that you mentioned? Would it be fair for me to ask you that I had said that 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and I told everybody, relax. Yes. These things gonna happen. I am Negro Damas, aka Nostradamus. I try to tell y'all these things were going to happen, and I'm saying it, and I'm telling you the premise of this show. I decided to do these shows because I said I want to give people a glimpse under the hood through my experiences of what I know about this field. Right? Good, bad, and different. Cut it down the middle. And people didn't want to listen because I wasn't I was gonna say something else because I wasn't blowing smoke up your behind and making you feel good, Letitia.
Right. Correct.
And now the chickens have come home to roost. All I'm saying is now I'm your favorite coach. Huh? I'm just telling you, AG, I'm calling a spade a spade. Now, everything that seems that I said, because it's hard to check receipts when you do thousands. I think I got almost 2,000 shows on this channel. Or videos, rather. Now, when you say these things, you're deemed a hater. Now, here's what I say. Shout out to Chris E, who just donated. Thank you. He's actually on my Call Me Coach Hate shirt. Chris E, called me a hater. And he says, you struggling against Delaware. Salter ain't it. But Chris, you know I love you, dog, like a play cousin. Where did he struggle? He scored his first. He scored. But again, this is the optics that people don't want. He scored on his first drive. You know what everybody say? Kaden Salter don't run. He ran it in for a touchdown. He got the first with his legs. He goes down there and he scores a field goal, 10-0 in 2 drives. And that ain't good enough for y'all.
Right.
You struggling against where did he struggle? He had 2 scoring drives and sat down for 2 hours. See, y'all forget this optic.
Right.
Ryan Staub got sacked. Right before they scored. Delaware jumped on the long snapper, created a first down, and then they ran it in. So that 7 points now goes for Ryan Staub. I'm not against Ryan Staub. What I'm trying to say is I think it's an unfair angle against Kaden Salter.
It is.
That's
all I'm saying is I think we all are saying what the question I have is could it possibly be more that is off?
No, I agree with that. Listen, I agree with that. But here's the reason I'm saying.
And I don't.
No, I agree that it could. But I agree that it could possibly be more. Here's all I'm saying.
I honestly
don't let an idle mind be a devil's workshop. Go ahead.
Coach was hyped. I just think Coach was hyped from the last game with Staub. And then so that's why, it's just like the adrenaline just, made him put him in the second game. But I honestly don't think Salt did anything, to lose his starting position.
Right. And I'll say this, Letitia, I got to push on because we got some more callers. But here's what I will say. To your point, AG, I agree with you. It could be more. But even if it was more, the timeline doesn't allow it to be if Prime don't play the radio. Because if Prime didn't play the radio, Kaden Salter wouldn't have been your starter versus Georgia Tech. What has Kaden Salter done between Georgia Tech and Delaware where he still came out as your starter if he doesn't play the radio? And he has not played since those first 2 drives. So what did he do where it wasn't bad enough for you to be benched until a guy came in and optically looked better than you?
Well, anyway, we all know how that goes. I mean, I think all of us have been around enough football to where, the backup quarterback is always everybody's number one guy. If he comes in, looks optically correct.
He was the third. He wasn't even the backup. He was the third.
But I'm saying, but you know how that goes. So I don't know, man. But I understand what Letitia's saying. She basically saying that she don't believe under any circumstances Coach would have benched his son.
No, he definitely wouldn't have been Shador. No, but that's,
no,
at
all.
Hey, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Coach and AG. How about them games?
How about them games? Who that is in the back? That sounds like a real winner.
That's my husband.
Hey, your husband sound like a real winner, Letitia.
Your husband all right. He all right with us. He all right with us. He a good man.
He sound like a real winner. Man, go Canes, man. We'll talk, Letitia. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate you.
You send Letitia some cane juice, man. Get her number. Send her some cane juice for her.
I know. I'm going to send her some cane juice. All right, here we go. We got Ohio player. Listen, this guy plays so beautifully. Wouldn't you agree? This guy, listen to this. Hold up. Come on, Chris. We would have lost that game if Salter was starter because The defense in a close game ain't it yet. Can I tell you this? I think you lost the game against Houston if Kaden Salter was the starter. Because I don't think offensively it's not great, but it's not an issue.
Yo,
The
you're saying
defense
you
is
think
the
if
issue.
Salter was the starter, you think you would have lost or won the game?
You still would have lost against Houston.
Okay, all right, cool. I agree.
You still would have lost. I still think you would have lost against Houston because the defense is the problem.
I agree.
Right? You may have scored some more points, but I still think Houston was going to wear you down. Because remember, Colorado was only down 16-14 in the third quarter.
Right.
So anyway, let me go to get to the next one. Hey, AG, this guy right here, he plays so beautifully. He is the Ohio player. What's up, baby? Talk to me, man.
Hey, what's up, Coach Hayes? What's up, AG? How y'all doing?
What's good, Ohio player?
Yeah, all right now. Yeah, I'm gonna keep things in its proper perspective before I go in. This is a brand new team. Only Jordan Senior is a returning starter out of 22 players. Coach Prime, as y'all stated, was out, during all the training camp because of his medical condition. And they do have around 8 players on NFL rosters from the previous year. And the Georgia Tech loss don't look so bad now. They initially ranked and they beat Clemson. It was ranked 11th or so. So I am gonna keep some things in perspective, but I will say this: in case he was a top 15 Heisman Trophy candidate, coming in, and I think he should start and should remain the starter. He's the 5th-year senior. He's a dual threat quarterback, and like I said, this, if anything got his attention, this did, and I think he will play better and use all of his dual threat capabilities to win Colorado ball games. The defense, as usual, last 3 years, they too light up front. They getting pushed off the ball again. And hopefully they address that, with different defensive schemes and, correct that problem. The defensive secondary, they need some, as we say, fine tuning, or they just need to adjust, need some adjustment on defense. That's a major concern right there. But the offensive line, actually the offensive line has blocked, was graded, pretty high, nationally ranked. So, that was not bad. But I think it should run the ball more. They do have Welsh and Taylor and the other guy, 26, they can run the ball. So running the ball 20 to 25 times, would be beneficial to the Colorado Buffaloes offense. And they got Case out there, he can run an extra 9 or 10 times himself. So, I think if they correct some of those mistakes, especially on the defensive side of the ball, I think they'll be all right. I think they definitely beat Wyoming this week, and after that, it doesn't get any easier. And I think they're gonna, learn, because they ain't got no. Well, they can get worse, but I do think they can get better. And if they, correct some of this mistakes and have some offense and defense adjustments, it should be, better off for it. Those are my thoughts.
No, you're all good. I mean, I think the thoughts you made are great observations. They're true observations. But can I just say this?
Go ahead.
We haven't stated one thing, AJ. You could jump in. Ohio player, how do you stop the bleeding? We know what the problems are. The question is, it's like if I go in the emergency room with a bullet hole in my chest, and the surgeon say he's been shot. I know he's been shot. You need to fix it. How do you fix it, Ohio player? Don't tell me he's been shot. I see the hole in his chest. How do you fix it?
They just need to, like I said, they need to have somebody spy on that quarterback, because they, it's the blueprint now what Haynes King did and that Houston quarterback did as well. As they run the ball, they making those slow quarterbacks look like Lamar Jackson back there. They need a linebacker to spy on the quarterback, because Wyoming is going to try to exploit that. They're going to try, and if they get a linebacker, especially the middle linebacker, to spy on the quarterback, especially, when he takes off running or if he attempts to run, I think it could be better off forward. I said they're too light up front. So if they got some bigger guys up there, that's what they need to put in there. I'm not talking about they need to be Vince Winford or even a prime Warren sat back at University of Miami, but they need some bigger guys up front, But all in all, if not, just spy on the quarterback, because I'm telling you, they got a blueprint out there. And, if you got them slow quarterbacks, gaining yards like the Lamar Jackson out there, that's not going to, be good for the defense. So if they adjust that, and if Livingston can make the proper adjustments, I think, they'll be better off for it. And Warren Sapp, get them defensive tackles, up and running.
Gotcha.
They're going to have to.
AG?
Man, no. I think he's spot on, man. I think that, we all know that the D-line and the linebackers, they're going to have to come through. And they got to figure out who they best runs. At this point, man, whoever your best run stoppers are on defense, from the defensive line to the linebacker, they got to start. It's just that simple. Because right now, the film shows that you can't do anything with that. And we all have played football and know that, hell, when you can run the ball for 5-6 yards, you can damn sure pass it. Now that, like the little boy Steven Houston, hell, he looked tremendous against Colorado, because, now you having to commit 8-9 people, to stop him. Now that the pass game is open. So, some of those guys that you're in the transfer portal, they're gonna have to be ready to go. But somebody, they got to figure it out. Else you're gonna have to go like old Pop Warner days and go to a 5-2 or a 6-2 just to stop the run. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Not 100%. Well, how play I got to push on, man. You play so beautifully. Don't you agree, AG? He plays so beautifully.
No. He was on point, man. I like Ohio player.
All right, man. Appreciate you, dog, as always.
Y'all got good taste.
Anytime.
All right. Y'all take it easy.
Hey.
All right.
Hey, Buck, the Buckeye, man. You know what I'm trying to say.
Right.
You Ohio State
man.
Hey, don't do it like that.
All right, player. He a Buckeye fan too, man. All right, we're going to man Mike Laurie in the building, a.k.a. Stretch. You got the brown sugar?
You better believe it. I keep my candy yams ready.
Talk to me. Pause? No diddy? Something like that. But anyway, go ahead.
The candy yams ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
I don't know. I know what yams are, and if you candy them, that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave it like that. Anyway,
hey, she be having them yams back there, but all them aunties and them great aunties and them new aunties.
You know them see you aunties. Hey, Stretch. Hold on, Stretch. You know them see you aunties be wearing them little them house dresses, the moo-moos, and that's what they call it. Huh?
Yeah, and them and what them little things they be wearing around their head all the time.
Bonnets.
The bonnets, yeah.
Talking Coach Prime them better win the game this week, because I ain't gonna be out here watching this TV all weekend and they be losing and stuff. I ain't with that. Exactly. I gotta go play spade and listen to you know what I'm saying? One monkey don't stop no show.
Yeah, boots on the ground. Hey, but I want to
where them fans at? Anyway, talk to me, man. Let me stop you. Go ahead.
I don't think people are paying attention to something, and I want, I took a deep dive. The Amazon series has not been talked about, and so I wanted to find out what was going on. So I'm like, man, the numbers been dropping. He went from 15 million all the way down to like 4 million. Now he down to like 2 million viewership. And so I was like, what do you got going on? So this man know how to do business, man. This man is coming out with a new documentary on Netflix.
So he done left Amazon Prime. Now he on Netflix.
Now he on Netflix. He finna be coming out on Netflix in 2026. It's called The Room of Prime Time. And it's gonna be about his life. It's gonna be an unfiltered story. See, basically what's happening is, people done got off the bandwagon of watching Colorado. And because Colorado is not, everybody's saying they're there for Prime. So wherever Prime go, they're gonna go. So the Colorado buzz has stopped, and Coach Prime is picking back up the ball with letting people in on his life. So he's really gonna be talking about his relationship with his biological father, surviving a attempted at suicide, and a near-death health scare. So they already got the near-death health scare that's been going on. So really, he's capitalizing off this. So when you see all this stuff that's going on in the media and the stuff he's doing on air, he's only building up the hype to watch the new series that's going to come out.
Wow.
So all these different blunders and saving the damn the timeouts, that ain't doing nothing but creating the hype for the new. It's just like watching Chappelle's show or the fight just happened. You know what I mean? Like, and one thing I want to say before I started talking, man, I want to tell AG, man.
Before you start talking,
his son, man.
Oh.
Yeah, because I you probably got somebody on here with a little meat and potatoes and a little stew beef and a little roast and a little cornbread that have been dealing with this theatrical circus that we've been watching for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years now. And I just want to tell you, man, your son is doing wonderful, man. I'm proud of him by taking advantage of his opportunity. And I'm just gonna leave it right there.
Appreciate you. Yeah, man. I appreciate the love, man. Yeah, he's definitely doing his thing, and hopefully, Lord willing, he'll keep being able to do that.
That's good stuff, man. Well, when you gonna start talking? Because I thought you started already. You said when you start talking.
Leave him alone, man. Hey, man, he just said a good thing about my son. Don't make me fight you, Hayes, up in there.
I'm telling you. Hey, but this thing it's like I4 at 4:30 in the afternoon right now back here. So go ahead.
But coach used to bring your son up, but then he'll jump off that subject because he didn't want people to know per his sources. So coach used to kind of build your son up because he used to bring out about the Orlando stuff. Because I compete against Orlando in the Little League football, so I already knew who he was. But coach didn't want to but with you being on here, it just showed coach how far he's evolved with his platform and just the people that he's connected to. So when he's doing these reels and he's doing these shorts about the good, bad, and ugly, I think some of these coaches need to pay attention to the stuff that he's putting out because he's taking his time out to evaluate you, to give you bits and pieces that you are missing.
Man, I told him, honestly, I think his calling is to break down film on players and coaches, and I think that is something that he's really good at because one thing about old Petty Pendergrass, he's honest. So he's going to give you his honest opinion, and it has nothing to do with his personal. He don't like or dislike nobody. Matter of fact, he's like I tell people, if anybody, he a Coach Prime fan, but he's going to give it to you real. That's just who he is. So that's his honest opinion.
I'm a Prime fan. They don't believe it, but I'm a football fanatic though. Like that's the difference. I'm not. Nobody's above the game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just what it is. I believe in keeping the integrity of the game. But go ahead.
I just see them do it, man. So I think that if people would take the time to go look at because that little PPP thing he did, all that kind of stuff, man. If they would just take the time to look at it, they might learn some things as well. So we know
Hurricanes watching it because Mario don't want to get fired, and he know that the Canes juice. Once it gets stirring, you out of here. So he better pay attention to the stuff that we talking about because we got people like Street. Street is bringing it to him sometimes when he's in the fold with all the reporters.
Yeah, no, hey man, hey, he can't. Hey, we all know this. If he lose this week, he might as well pack his bags. Hey, if Florida's struggling, he lose this week, he ain't gonna want to be around. I would feel sorry for him. I'm just being honest. So
can I tell you this, AG? I don't even know how to fly a plane, but I damn sure get in one to fly that junk around Hard Rock. Man, look here, and jump out the parachute right there on the 50, man. F this job, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just wanted y'all to know, man, it's all about the sales, man. Until Coach Prime figure it out, he's gonna be in the same situation Mario is. He's gonna be clamoring for his job.
We got us a. You see, Coach Prime is a marketing genius, huh? We got a person, player, prospect, a Wasim part due, huh? We might have to go to FAU, huh? Down there in Boca, huh? Boca Raton is the mouth of the rat. You know what I'm saying?
You can bring some cane juice down there. Come down there and do some tailgate with the cane juice. I mean, we can do that one day.
Ooh, we might have us something here, boy. A part 2, a follow up, huh?
Yeah.
The saga,
I don't know.
the saga continues.
Got a little rowdy. It got a little rowdy at your old coaching ground. You know, they just took the crown from them this weekend. You know, they really was a big ordeal at that, when they took that damn trophy.
Who you talking about? Who you talking about?
When FAU played FIU this weekend. What you mean? What I'm talking about?
You know, for me, man, it was bittersweet, but you know, I hate to see my son then lose, but you know, Willie's my guy. You know, I talked to Willie.
Oh, FIU beat him this week?
Yeah, I talked to Willie before the game, after the game. You know, I'm very happy for him. You know, like what people don't understand, boy. This is just, you know, this is AG talking. So before anybody say that I'm not speaking, I love FAU. I love my son. So I really wish they'd have won. But what I'm telling people is, man, you know, for these brothers like Coach Prime, Willie, any black dude you know, man, they got to win. Yeah, they got to win, man. Like if they lose, man, they don't get the same advantages that a white coach would get. Seriously, like I'm telling you, people, as you see with Prime, now everybody jumped off the bandwagon. You know, that's just, you know, it's unfortunate, and that's why, you know, I'm always very supportive of these, you know, black coaches, because we need them to win as much as they possibly can.
Can I tell you something? And it may not be a popular opinion because they're in our conference, but I'm really becoming a fan of Fran Brown.
Yeah,
the man, the coach.
He's solid. He's solid.
Yeah. I'm a fan of Brent Key, the coach, not Georgia Tech, but Brent. I'm really becoming a fan of Fran Brown, the coach. Yeah. We will get into that later, but I just want to put that out there in the atmosphere. Mike, I got to push on, Mike. I got to push on.
Thing why you like him so much, and I like him too. He do not have his son on scholarship. He's saying that's one thing that he can pay for, and he can get another player. And then number two, he made them run wind sprints after a win.
Oh yeah. But
you haven't seen that.
I'm gonna get into a video. I'm gonna get into a video about that. I'm gonna get into. I'm gonna do it. I gotta get back into my exercise. My
keep pushing, bro.
Appreciate you, dog. Straight. Thank you, man.
Appreciate you.
All right, good call. We got neck bone. My neck. My back. Neck bone in the building. 0599. Don't hang up. You next. Neck bone, talk to us, baby. Give us your name. Or give us your name. Slap. You know what, coach? Slap yourself, dog. Mother. Oh shit.
Oh.
Neck bone, what's up, man?
What up, Coach Hayes? You hear me good?
It sounds like you about 10 miles from your phone. Can you walk over to your phone?
You hear me now?
Now it sounds like you under the sheets.
Now go to the next caller. I'm finna be at work.
You did all that, neck bone, just to tell me to go to the next.
Go to the next caller and put me next.
You know what, Neck? Take this while you go to work. Mother. Oh, that's out of here. God damn it, neck bone. 0599. Talk to us. Give us your name, where you calling from. See what I did with AZ?
What up, Coach Hayes? It's your boy Jason from AZ, man.
I already knew it, boy. Jason, what's happening, man? Talk to us, man. What's on your mind?
What's good? What's good? You know, first and foremost, you say I'm Canes all day, you know. But, you know, let me talk about Prime real quick. Did we not remember Prime saying that this year team was better than last year team? Did we not remember him saying that?
He did say that.
As he should, but go ahead.
As he should, right.
But is it true? Because right now it's looking like y'all looking like boo-boo right now, you know what I'm saying? Which is the defense. And you know, and one thing I'm gonna put this out. I'm gonna put it out here and leave it. If Prime mess around and lose, and they get rid of Prime, social media is gonna buzz like bees.
Oh, they're not gonna fire him. Yeah, he's not close to being fired.
Nah, he won't. I don't think
he's not even on a hot. Sir, there's not even a hot seat in Colorado.
He ain't on the hot list yet. But I'm telling you, once it happens, you heard it here first. The media gonna act a fool.
Can I tell you this? I don't even think they will fire him. They will come to a mutual agreement for him to step away before they fire him.
I think he's done too much for Colorado. He's done too much.
What did I root for the King?
Yeah. Here's what I'll tell you this really quickly. we have to, and I'm speaking generally here, Jason, but we have to, and I know there's a lot of new people, I'm not saying you, but there's a lot of new people to the game, and they can't differentiate between coach speak and like content, right? That's coach speak. Here's a perfect example of coach speak. I told you I'm petty, AG. Ready?
Yeah.
Give me a 3, 2, 1 countdown. Give me a 3, 2, 1 countdown. Ready? Watch this.
3, 2, 1.
G5 Billy Napier told the University of Florida at the beginning of the season, we're going to win the SEC conference and go to the playoffs. We ain't got to worry about a USF. That's some bullshit until they found out that bullshit stink. We're going to go into the bayou and make them cry you until they went to the bayou and walked out wearing 3 shoes, 2 on their feet and 1 in their ass.
Well, you know what, Coach?
Listen, hold on. I want to make sure people understand the difference between coach speak and reality. G5 Billy told his team that they was going to come to the Hard Rock and bet everything on red. And Coach Cristobal finna put everything on black, including that eye. We're going to get their ass a black eye, too.
Florida.
I want you to understand this. G5 Billy, the only game he winning is the bye week. And he might lose that because he spelled it wrong with a BY instead of BYE. I'm just letting you know. That's how so the difference between coach speak and reality is just what it is. One thing I will say this. We can't hang on every word. And I'm speaking generally here. We can't hang on to every word every coach says because what are they supposed to say? Hey, guys, we got a terrible team. Our talent is bad. Our starting quarterback, he only got 3 fingers on his throwing hand, right? His mama fine as hell. That's the only reason he's starting. We have no chance whatsoever to make it, let alone to the playoffs, even to the next game, because we ain't made enough money for gas money for the school bus. No. So they're going to say the right things, right? And then all the other stuff, that's the kind of stuff we talk about. So anyway, that's why I don't bust. I'm not here to bust Prime head about that kind of stuff. I mean, he's supposed to say.
Oh, no. I'm supporting Prime all day.
Sure.
Man. I'm supporting Prime. You know what I'm saying? I want him to win. I want him to win every game. You know what I'm saying? I'm well off media almost just like I'm with Coach Hayes.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate that.
You know what I'm saying? We Canes all day, so I'm always Coach Hayes.
I appreciate that, baby.
Like my man said, Coach Hayes got the best good, bad, and ugly in the game. I ain't seen nobody yet break up him down like that. Like I said, he made me a coach.
I appreciate it, man.
He a coach.
I appreciate that, man. A lot of work going to it. All I ask y'all to do is hit the free like, share, and subscribe button. It's free.
Amen. It's free. Just hit it. Just click right now.
That's it. Like right now, how many likes we got in here? It's free. Cost you absolutely nothing. It's free. How many likes we got right now, y'all? Anybody want? Matter of fact, I can tell you right now. I got it up here.
How many we got? I don't have my screen up.
Yeah, hold on. I got to refresh my screen. That guy said 3. I'll be hot. If we got 3, we finna end the show. We got 60. We only got 60 likes right now. 141 people in the building. Look at that. Half of y'all haters. Matter of fact, do me a favor. Y'all clap it up. Y'all clap it up for the 60 people in the building.
60 Canes in the building.
And guess what? Can I get this right here for the other 60 that didn't hit the button?
Yeah.
Y'all suck. Huh? Where else can you go and be entertained for 2 hours? Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
And you getting good content.
Come on, AG.
And you getting good content.
Come on, man. God,
Man,
we want you to support free.
Sometimes people ain't ready to hear the truth, or just like you too raw for them. They gonna come in and tune in, but they just ain't gonna give you that like or subscribe. That's just how it go.
All I'm saying, AG, we won't support free, but you get a stimulus check and run to the Gucci store. And most of y'all can't even find your flip-flops or your doggone Louis Vuitton belt now since COVID. Get out of here with that. Slap you haters, mother. Sorry. Anyway, let me push on, brother. I got to rock with you, Jason. We got this thing. I'm finna close this line out. We got to get up out of here.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, I tune back in when we got the Canes on.
Oh, that's tomorrow, dog. Hey, less than 24 hours. I'll be
I
back.
already know.
Yes,
I
sir.
know.
Yes,
Good
sir.
luck, good boy.
Yes, sir.
The conference has been locked.
All right. Shout out to Jason. We got I'm gonna let Neckbone go last because he was underwater welding or something. I don't know what he was doing. Jamel from DC in the building. What's up, Jamel? Talk to us, baby.
What's up, Coach? Man, I'm gonna tell you what's going on with Colorado, man. Why they in a little bit of trouble.
All right.
Well, people should have saw it coming from a mile away, right? So I went to a HBCU. I think I was out of college when by the time Prime was at Jackson State, right? Prime, and nothing's wrong with this. What I'm about to say is like not a shot or nothing and stuff. Prime is a salesman. He's like Muhammad Ali, right? He's the person who told you he was great and then actually became great. So like that adds to the allure of who the person is. So when he was at Jackson State, Prime had the most talented team in the HBCU, bar none. It wasn't even close.
Mm-hmm.
But he still couldn't win a championship because he got out-coached by those other coaches. Those other coaches were just better coaches than he was. But he was a better recruiter and had more talent on his team. So I just saw somebody the other day mentioning Colorado because Colorado lost to Houston. They were saying that I'm surprised Prime isn't getting top of the line recruits. So I questioned him and said, why do you think he would get top of the line recruits? I was like, if Shador wasn't his son, if Shador was one of the best quarterbacks in college football last year, let's keep that 100. He was an elite college football quarterback, and I think he could do some good things in the league. So I was like, if Shador wasn't his son, he's probably not getting a Shador, right? And then I was like, Travis Hunter was 1-1. He's not going to get a bunch of Travis Hunters. So I'm like, you can't duplicate that over and over again. I'm like, you're now seeing a big gap in like talent. And I don't think Prime is a do more with less kind of coach. Those are far few in between. Those are coaches that like maximize at Rutgers or at like kind of Minnesota, or how we was talking about the Louisville coach. Where you're like, man, how is this coach winning and they ain't even got the elite talent? Because they can do that. The Georgia Tech coach, they know how to maximize with less. Prime isn't that guy. He's a great recruiter. He's a great salesman. He can brand you well. He knows how to brand his brand. He's on TV, all types of Aflac commercials and stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. But we have to acknowledge that's what that is. So when the product for Colorado rolls out on that field, it's not to the same level as these other teams, unfortunately. And he's not going to get the best DBs every year. Why? Because we haven't seen Prime develop a DB. Now, some people might say Travis Hunter. Coach, Travis Hunter could have went to ICDC college. And he still was going to be that.
He could have went to Howard. He could have went to Howard and still been the guy.
He could have went anywhere. He had talent.
What school you went to? What school you went to?
I went to Delaware State.
He could have went to Delaware State and still been. I see what you're saying.
Deshaun Jackson, our coach now. Deshaun Jackson, the coach
trash
right now.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I apologize.
Yeah, so we doing big things. But
trash.
Like you had a talent like Travis Hunter. He could have went anywhere. We haven't saw him develop a corner. So top corners aren't gonna come there. You know what I mean? He may get, you get a Jordan Seaton or players who identify a lot more with Prime. Who like, that's not Flo. I'm a flashy guy. I'm going to go play with Prime. But you're not going to get a bunch of those players. And as we know, if you ain't rolling out the same level of talent, you can coach it up. But when you're going against talent that's just way that much superior, chances are you ain't going to win, Coach. What you think?
All right. I've always said it's going to be a talent game. I don't care who you are. You could be the greatest coach of all time. The X's and O's on your paper are not reality. That's theory. You got to have players. Now, does coaching matter? 1,000%. But players matter more. I will always say that. If you don't have players, guess what? Go ask the greatest. Nick Saban, 7-6. Guess what he did? When he got some gangsters, the next year, he ain't looked back, right? He went out and got Julio. When he got Mark Ingram. When he got some players and made significant changes. He still was the same coach. So why did he go 7-6? Huh? Ed Ogeron, apparently one of the greatest teams of all time. Slap your face, because that's a lie. It's my 01 Hurricane. Mother. But anyway, guess what? 2 years later, he's fired. He stopped knowing how to coach. Go ask Frankenstein. What's his name? God dang on. What's the dude from Miami?
Larry Coker. Larry Coker.
I call him Frankenstein. Larry Coker. Guess what? He fired. Well, he don't know how to coach no more. So it is players. Let's not get that twisted. Now, coaches magnify play. Coaches are there to fine tune what's there. So to your point, yes, Travis Hunter was going to be Travis Hunter no matter where he went. Coach Prime was there to help cultivate and make certain things happen, right? And he was there to help facilitate Travis Hunter in this process. But athletically, Travis Hunter got it. Coach Prime gave him some nuggets to make him a little bit better, right? That's what coaching is. A coach earns his stripes by making the journeymen major contributors. That's where a coach makes his money. If I, like this dude back here, he's 6'5", 240, throw the ball 80 yards. I had nothing to do with that. My job was to make sure he made the right moral decisions, right? Thought through things, understanding the process, that kind of stuff. Well, I earned my stripes was to get the 265-pound lineman in the college. That's 5'10", 5'11". That's why I felt coaches made their stripes, right? That's where you make it. The unknown guy, and he makes it to the league, whether he's there for a day or he goes and plays 10 years. That's how I look at it. But I know everybody puts on their thing, on their resume, oh, I coached 10 All-American. Yeah, they probably was already All-Americans, but I get it. That's why you recruit them. You know what I mean? But it's those other guys that you get. AG, what's your thoughts? And I got to push on.
No, man. Hey, man, I agree with you all the way. You know, I think the brother said some very quality points. You know, we all talk about that all the time. You know, you have to have the players. I think that we were talking about that earlier. It's a lot of players that left Colorado that are going to other schools that are killing. Yeah. You know, it's a whole bunch of them. I mean, like, it's not – it's a lot. So, you know, I think that, you know, whoever's in –
We'll dive into that here in a second. Yeah, definitely.
Whoever's in the player development department, they got to do a better job of making sure that they keep those kind of players. And, you know, and you know, because you're bringing in guys, running guys off, and those guys actually got a little something about them, you know.
100%. Well, Jamel, man, let me push on. We got two more callers, and then that's something I want to talk about to you, AG, right quick, too. Right. Those players. Jamel, thanks, man. Appreciate you, man. Sorry you had to go to Delaware State, Hampton University, the real HU, home by the sea.
Yeah, I Howard up the street from the crib. I grew up on that campus. But man, I believe that Delaware State, Columbia blue and scarlet red, man. That's what I believe.
Dude right here.
Hey, man, Coach, don't you start today, man.
Hey, man, all I'm gonna say is
I grew up on Howard campus when Howard had players like Antoine Bethea at safety, All-American, Ron Bartell at cornerback, All-American, went to the Rams, Antoine Bethea, Super Bowl champion with the Colts. I know a lot about Howard. I was a part of the first class that was at Howard University Middle School, Math and Science, first class ever middle school at a HBCU campus, first class to ever do that. So I'm part Bison too. I just got to let you know the school I graduated from.
They also got a good dental program. We'll holler at you later. Bye. I didn't mess with you, dog. All right, brother. Hey, shout out to Jamel from DC. I used to spend a lot of time on that Howard campus. All right, here we go. Neckbone last 1695 coming to you. Call or talk to us. Give us your name. Where you calling from? 1695.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Who we talking to?
What's up, man? It's Rosecrans.
Rosecrans. What's up, man? Been a minute.
No, Rosecrans.
Rosecrans. Yes. No, yeah. You know it. I got you. Yeah. You been in disco. Yeah. What's up, baby?
It's my first time calling, man. I just had like 2 points. A little pushback. What is it? AG.
AG.
Yeah. Yeah. So my only pushback is with the recruiting thing of a Coach Prime, right? Okay, it's not just about going to campuses, it's not just about going to home visits. It's also about sometimes going to that campus, and a lot of coaches too. What they do is, you might have a lineman that play on a basketball team, and you might see how athletic it is because you went to the basketball games. I be seeing football coaches at basketball games, different sport events and stuff like that. So I think you got to get out there sometimes and see the talent, and there's a lot of guys at JUCOs who may not have all these ranks, who may not have got a chance to go to like a different camp and stuff like that. There's a lot of guys I've seen on the JUCO level I played JUCO as well before I transferred. But sometimes you gotta get out there and see the talent. It's not just about going to the campus. You might need to take an extra trip that you wasn't planning on taking, to the rival school and stuff like that. So that's just my opinion on that.
Yeah, the big thing is just so you know how it works. What really happens is, man, the head coach ain't gonna never be on the campus by himself, ever. Like they gonna send somebody else anyway. So the head coach is usually brought in for the home visit to say, hey, I came to the house, do the electric slide, all that kind of stuff. They really there. So like in fairness to Prime, that ain't really necessary. They're doing more step and fetching when they come. And that, like, the position coach or the recruiting coordinator, they're the ones who actually are seeing that 6'5" lineman. They're the ones, going to junior colleges. I think that's what, a lot of people are saying that Prime got to come into your household. And I'm saying that's really not necessary.
Yeah, I got you. I'll say this to you real quick, Rose Can. And I think me and AG, I think we come on the same page. And I think we may look at it different. I agree. I don't think Prime need to go. He don't have to be the foot soldier. That's what these other coaches are for, right? Yeah. What I'm saying is, don't go after just one Jordan Seaton. Get 5. Don't go after one Kamani McLean. Get 5.
That part.
Don't go after one Juju Lewis. Get 5. See, because here's how the numbers stack. Your first year, if you would have got 5, and let's just say one fall off, you still got 4. Your second year, you got 5. Listen to this. These are 9 gangsters because everybody that Coach Prime has put his efforts into, he has gotten. He 100. When I mean that is, when they said he wanted Jordan Seaton, he got him. When he wanted Kamani Clean, he flipped him from Miami. When he wanted Travis Hunter, he flipped him from Florida State. He flipped his own son from FAU. He took his own son from South Carolina. I know those easy, but just follow where I'm going. Right? He flips Juju Lewis from USC. So I'm just saying, if you want not just one for the splash of it all, but imagine you got 4, 3, 4, 5 of those guys. Now going into your third year, think of what Jordan Seaton is doing now at his second year. Imagine if you still got people that are now would have been in their third year, how much more they would have contributed. That'd have been, you won't be looking at a one Jordan Seaton as a starter on offense. You might have had 6 returning starters on offense, and it's a total different ball game. But that's why I am. Rosecrans, give me your last point, man, and we got to push on when we close this deal out.
Right, too. Yeah, and you know what? The reason why I probably was saying that too is because I was used to seeing Pete Carroll, out here doing that kind of little bit.
Okay.
Projects. He was going to funerals, all type of stuff. Yeah. So I just when he was going to the hood, all type of shit. So,
but guess what?
Language, but
but he won.
Yeah.
But guess what he did?
Yeah.
It made a difference. But that's the difference. Pete Carroll ain't got Prime's cachet, right? So Prime don't have to do all that. But Prime still, he still, in my opinion, got to go in and seal it because they're gonna go to Colorado on the visit. That we know. But AG, you know what's different when Prime Time walk through your front door? Oh, come on, man.
Think about it, man, because I've been around him, man. To be honest, he ain't got to walk through your front door. When he talks to those parents, man, and he bring you in that room and sit you down, and he talks to those kids, his presence is different. So
I get it.
And so he don't have to do what other coaches do. It's all we all men. I'm gonna break it down for you in men terms. The fine chick in the club ain't got to do all the stuff. She could be wearing a t-shirt and some jeans. And I promise you, if she's all that, we're gonna choose her over the girl that's butt naked. I promise.
You're right.
Yeah.
But here's my deal. I'm with you 1,000%. You got Holly Berry. Give me one more, AG. Who you got?
Let's go to the Halle Berry because she ain't my type, but I'm always go. Coach Sydney Carter. Let's go with her.
Sydney Carter, the basketball coach.
Yeah, buddy. I don't know. You must say.
Okay, do me a favor. Help me out. Give me some people may know right now.
All right. Well, let's say Beyonce.
Okay, Beyonce and Halle Berry. They both say, "Come visit me, AG." You like, well, you only pick one. You really like it? Hold on, you really like a Holly, but Beyonce come knock on your door and say, "Come on with me, baby." Yeah, okay, I'm on my way. I'm on. Yeah, just follow me. Let's just go with it.
All right.
Holly too skinny for you.
You know, I'm gonna go with it. Let's say, but the thing about me, I'm gonna go to both.
You can't. You can't go to both.
I'm gonna go to both, but eventually, I'm still gonna choose Beyonce. Like for me, I'm gonna choose Beyonce. Let's say, flip it around. And Halle Berry, Beyonce, I gotta go to Halle Berry and say, I got you right now in this moment. Halle finna get it right now, but I'm still gonna go to Beyonce.
No, you can't go over there. See, that's what's wrong with y'all. Y'all always want to bend the rules.
Okay, well, even with those rules, I gotta choose between Halle and Beyonce. I'm going to Beyonce.
This man say Jennifer Holiday. Well, if you
hey, man, please take Neckbone off, man. Like, I can't deal. If Neckbone said Jennifer Holiday, I don't even want to talk to Neckbone. I'm just telling you that now. If that was his comp, look.
Hold on, can I tell you something?
He might as well say Esther Roll and shit. God dang. This man said, come on. Yeah.
Hold up. Can I tell you something? I hate to say this. I know I'm officially an old man, bro. I'm talking about a 60-year-old Halle Berry. God damn. Halle Berry can go get her coffee for a quarter at McDonald's, dog. What are we talking about?
Halle's still tight now.
No, I know. But what I'm just saying. But,
that man said
all right, here we go. I got to run out here, Rose Kane. Let me get this dog on Neckbone. If he sound like he underwater, I'm gonna slap his face.
Man, if he say Jennifer Holiday, I'm out.
Boy, see. Oh God, thanks, man, Rose Kane. Appreciate your support, brother. All right, Neckbone coming up next. That boy say Lizzo. No.
Who said Lizzo?
But love saying Wern.
Oh man, these dudes here, man.
Hey man, they Kane fans, dog. They Kane fans, dog.
Oh, they came. That explains it.
They Kane juice. Hey, that's them Bill goggles, dog. Blind, 18 to 80, blind, cripple, or crazy.
That explains it on that cane juice. I get it.
Them boy be circling the American Legion of VFW. Huh?
They in the Legion. What say they Legionnaires.
Them boy be hanging outside retirement homes. Anyway, Neckbone in the building. What's up, Neckbone?
What's going on, man?
All right, I'm glad you came up for air, man. The underwater welding ain't good for you.
Don't be hating on my BBWs, man. They need love too.
Boy, Neckbone, you got the right name, Neckbone.
Hey, man, it gotta make sense.
Man, where you from? Ain't you from Mississippi, Neckbone?
No, I'm from Texas, man. I just do travel.
Hell no. What part of Texas you from? What part of Texas you from?
He is from Texas.
What part of Texas?
I'm from East Texas.
Oh, my family from
Redwood, Earl Campbell.
Yeah, Pittsburgh. I know all that. My family from Pittsburgh, Texas. That's the way. I'm from San Antonio, Houston.
Oh yeah, I know a little bit about
Pittsburgh.
My boy DJ Porter. You know any of the Porters down there in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I know. We the Taylors out of Pittsburgh.
Okay, man. Small world. Yeah, but nah, man.
I'm the Hazes from out of Carroll City. Nobody care about all that. Get crap out of here.
Nah, problem he can't fix it, man. I think he's too far. He's too far in the grease, man. He go ahead and check it in, man.
Now, can I preface this first, AG?
Go ahead.
About 3 weeks ago, AG, I want you to hear what I deal with. Hold up. Now,
3 weeks.
Maybe about
months.
Maybe about 2.5. He already know where I'm going.
Oh.
AG, listen to this. I want you to know what listen to me, though. I'm leaning into. I want you to understand. Look at me closely, my brother.
All right.
Looking in the eye. I want you to understand what I deal with on Tuesday nights. This dude Neckbone will whip my behind if I say anything about Coach Prime. This dude,
I disagree.
That man, Neckbone said, "Man, why they just don't draft Jimmy Horn?
Oh, they're dope, but
you know his daddy in jail. They just need to give him a chance." Like this is kind of Neckbone. Am I lying? Anything you can say Don't say nothing. About 2.5, 3 months ago, this dude flipped the switch. And now, boy, guess what? Guess what?
He on him.
Prime can't do no right. Yeah, I'm from Kansas City outsider. Come on. Yes, sir.
Oh no, I don't believe that, Hayes.
Neckbone, am I lying? Don't make me call
You
Rawhide.
lying.
Don't make me call. I'm going to call Rawhide right now.
Nah, don't call Raw, because Raw ain't in this.
Look at this. Neckbone straight line. Y'all let me know in the chat if Neckbone ain't flipped the script.
Wow. Oh, wow. So Neckbone flipped the script on him like that?
Literally flipped the script.
Nah, Coach Hayes, I'm good. I'm going to holler at you, man. I done got it in the building, man.
Sound like you in the stall. Get out that stall, man. It's two of y'all on that one. This is the stuff I deal with. Now, you know why I know he lying, AG? I don't even know why he called. Just do that. But anyway, you know why he do that? He came on the show. Remember how I put him in the kitchen? You know how I put him in the kitchen? He came on the show. He got put in the kitchen. I'm telling you, dog, this is stuff I deal with, AG. But let me ask you this real quick. You brought up a very interesting point. We talked about some players that have come into Colorado and are not there. Like, I think one of the major players just from recent history or recent memory I can think of who I thought could be a major contributor. I'm not saying they would win ball games because of him, but I think they would have played a little better if he was there. Is like a Nakai Hill Green, right? I thought he played extremely well for Colorado in the middle, being an older guy, been to Michigan, went to Coastal Carolina, came there, so he's been around the block for a couple of times.
Went to Charlotte, then he went to
Charlotte. I'm saying Charlotte. I apologize. I said Coastal Carolina. But went to Charlotte, came to Colorado, and he actually played pretty well last year. Ended up taking his talents to Alabama. I'm not sure if he's playing or not. That's not the point. Colton Hood. Shout out to I don't know how to say your name. I don't want to jack it up. Yeah, Colton Hood and Niall Greer. Talk to me about some of these players, man. Anthony Hankerson, the running back that's at Oregon State right now. I actually got him on my fantasy league. He killing it. Talk to me about some of these players that have come and gone. And what's your thoughts on that?
I think that, Colton, he was definitely he's a very talented DB, obvious by winning SEC Player of the Week. I don't know what happened there, but he, I would have had him definitely deep in the rotation. I think Colton could have, started for Colorado. I'm just being honest. I think he has that kind of talent. I think that when you look at Nakai Green, I think he left because it was Bama. I don't think that's on something that's on Prime and his staff. I think he just went, and you're gonna have some of that, because Bama, I'm sure, could give him a bigger bag than what Colorado could give. The other kid, Hankerson, I personally thought we should have never let him go. I'm a big Hankerson fan. Been a fan of his since he was in high school at St. Thomas Aquinas. For those who don't know, that is probably one of the premier schools in Florida. It has been for a long time. And if you balling over there, that means if you start over there, like Coach Hayes can attest to this, if you're a start over there, that means you could go, period. Mm-hmm. Like that, like across the country, they have starters, across the country. I thought that, Hank is a bad boy. And then, like you said, he at Oregon State killing it. T just brought up Jordan Tyson. I think, knowing that situation, it was just, he probably did the best thing for him because when he came in, Coach Prime came in and, he was hurt. So he really wasn't feeling Prime, I don't think. And Coach Prime never really saw him play. So I understand why he go, but he's balling at Arizona State. Shout out to those guys. I got a couple of kids over there. Savion doing his thing up at Syracuse, for certain. Dylan was definitely doing his thing in Kansas State. If he don't get hurt, he was the man. It probably that team is hurting because Dylan can't play, to be really honest. They might be 3-0 if Dylan was playing because they losing every game by like 2 and 3 points. And I can assure you he's worth those 2 or 3 points. So, and you got Tajay McCoy who left, because like I tell people, certain kids leave and it's not because, and this is across the board, it's not just a Colorado thing. if somebody's offering him more bag money, it's hard for that kid to say no. You know, like it really is. Like people are sitting there, oh, he should say no. If you offer him 150, somebody else offering him 500, you know, he almost got to go. But some kids are leaving because they're not getting the playing time that they do. Like Tajay McCoy to me is a kid that should have been like. There's no way I'm not using Tajay more because I know he's the future.
Right. What about even like cats like Benson or cats like even Chaney, the linebacker? Actually, Chaney, he's from Wekiva, right out of this area.
Yeah. Like Benson killing it, but I want to. I'm glad you were Chaney, man. Shit, he killed us. Like Chaney is a ball. I've known him because actually him and Assad played on the same team for 2 years. He was a junior when Assad was a freshman, and then they played Chaney senior. And I'll tell anybody, you know, that kid can ball. And quite frankly, for what Colorado's missing right now Chaney is like number 7 in PFF for inside linebackers. And one thing he'll do is thump the hell out of you, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what Colorado's missing. So, you know, some of this stuff is, you know, and we talked about this, you know, as coaches, you can't let some of these guys go, man. I don't care what nobody say. You know, I mean, you know, you can't let these, you know, there's no way that, you know, Johnny Chaney didn't even get an opportunity at Colorado. But there's no way. You know,
I mean, he's a dude now. Cause I saw him at the draft party. He ain't a little. I remember him in high school, but
he got great size. You know, like the thing is, as coaches, they know who these guys are. The dudes, and like some of these guys should have never left the program. And I think, you know, if they could have kept some of those guys, you might not have some of the issues that you see right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, like I said, I want to make sure I bring that up. And of course, like I said, your son had an opportunity there as well. And here's where, and I brought this up before, and we'll kind of close out with this, man. We got a lot of people been rocking with us for a long time. We always lie to the people and say we're going to do this amount of time. We always go over. Yeah. I said to myself 2 hours, we had 2:30. But here's what I'll say. One thing about being a head coach, X and O's are big of it, yes. But it's really more about management. You're managing people. You're managing players, you're managing staff, you're managing personalities, you're managing backgrounds, you're managing interactions. All you're doing, and I'll never forget, shout out to Coach Dunn. He always told me that. He said, Coach, when you become a head coach, last thing you're gonna do is coach football. Yeah. I was like, huh? He said, yeah, all you're doing is putting out fires. That's all you do. This kid, that. This person did that. Think about Kirby Smart. You at Georgia. You know what I mean? Any phone calls this dude probably get in the middle of the night, his players getting pulled over. That's all coaches, but I'm just saying that because they big in the news about the players speeding. They got a bunch of money, fast cars. They speeding up and down, especially in these college towns where these long stretch of highway where there's not a lot of traffic. You know what I mean? These coaches deal with this all day long. And so, long story short, I'm bringing this up to say part of where I think a little bit of mismanagement was understanding how to get those young dudes in, just sprinkle them in. They just want a little love. And the NCAA, like coaches can't hide behind, well, I don't want to burn your red shirt. You used to be able to hide behind that as a coach, right? Well, you know, if I put you in this one game, you can lose the whole season. Now you got 4 games to play me without losing it. So these kids want to at least touch it, right? Like they want to touch being on the field, especially in blowouts, especially in you up 21 points. Coach, even if I'm being that receiver to block, I ain't saying I got to catch a touchdown, but no way in the world I don't put all this damn gear on and I'm doing this.
And my issue is, man, like we talked about this before, it's not just Colorado. Man, some of these kids, you know, they're killing people at practice. The whole, like, everybody know this kid is like that kid right there, that, you know, that kid got to get in the game. Like, coach, like, hey, even if you run him in, see, I'm old school in the fact that, man, when I coach, bro, I'm going to throw you in there in the heater. If I really think you got something about you, I'm going to throw you in there in the heater, but at least a play or two, you know, because you don't know what you got. Just a prime example, Amari Miller. Dude got hurt. I knew Amari Miller was like that. Dude got hurt. I forgot his name, the big boy that came from, like, Northwest state or whatever. They pull him out. Marlon Miller had 191 yards and a half. Now you
And
would
didn't
never
play no
know
more.
that. Yeah, if you would never have known that, right, and never played no more. What are we talking about? Like so. But I knew he was cold because I get the reports, from practice that he cold. So
Right.
there's no way a kid like that, man. I'm playing the hell. We gonna have to figure it out because that boy can play.
Yeah.
So they've had some guys. When you look at that class that you look at that class that came in, all them boys is somewhere balling out. But they just need an opportunity, and that's the thing. And I think that it's as a coach, you got to be able to figure that out.
What's up? I woke up just to defend CU. Hey, real quick, man. Like I said, I just think that's something else too. And again, that is a college thing, but we're talking specifically Colorado.
Yeah.
Is when you get these youngsters and they're worth something, find a way.
Yeah, because they're gonna leave
on the
if you don't.
field.
They're gonna leave if you don't.
It's just,
it's
it's
just
nature of the beast.
Yeah,
especially if it ain't clear cut. Like if I go to Ohio State, that freshman that's sitting behind Jeremiah Smith, he ain't tripping
at all.
He like this. I'll wait.
Right? But one thing about college, out of all the schools, they got the top 8 or 9 wide receivers, and they working them boys in.
And they working them in.
Yeah, they working those boys in, and those are the things that as a coach, you got to be able to do that, man. Because if you don't, the kid gonna feel like you don't really rock with them. They're gonna feel like you may be talking about, oh, we gonna take care of him next year. I mean, it's just what it is. Like I was shocked more than anybody that Assad left Colorado because your boy, what's his name? What's your boy name? Not well off media, but other dude. Darius did a video about how Assad was the next. He was everybody's favorite wide receiver. He's the next guy up, and all that kind of stuff. And and Coach Prime, and Assad had a conversation, and Assad was like, "Hey, I want to play."
Mm-hmm.
And he already know that you finna go in the portal and bring guys. So hey, look, I need to go somewhere to showcase my skill set too.
Yeah,
and that's that's what kids are gonna want to do.
And to that point, kids have a clock. Coaches don't have a clock, right?
Right.
A kid's clock will run out eventually, and they want to be able to make some. They want to be able to make some moves. I'll say this last thing, and we could definitely wrap this up. Damn, I'm getting old, man. I'm getting old. I just had on the tongue.
You forgot?
Oh, I sound like I heard a bug zapper. I know you got nothing to do with it. Did I hear a bug zapper?
Yeah, man, I'm outside on the patio.
You gotta let me. I gotta get one of those just cause. I don't know why. I love the
I keep my on the patio. I got a little bug zapper, man. It was mops and stuff like that because if show wasn't no mosquitoes, I wouldn't be out here.
Nah, I thought you was cracking your knuckles at first.
Oh,
but
no.
Anyway, now I'm just messing with you. Listen, man, AG, a pleasure as always. I know you do it. You still doing the bus tour, man?
Yeah, man. We leave out, man, every year. If anybody want to donate, go to toprecruitsnow.com. Don't make a donation. But we leave out every year, man. This year coming up, we'll be taking kids from Florida. We'll be going to Florida State, Georgia Tech, Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio State, Cincinnati, Notre Dame, and Purdue.
All right, there it is, man. All right, and also you got the Under Armour. Not the
Legend Showcase. For those who don't know, Legend Showcase will be this year on December 27th. It's where we take the top underclassmen in the state of Florida and have them play against each other. We have at least 25 guys that play in that game that's in the NFL. So we've been doing it now. This will be our 8th year. So I look forward to it every year. This year, Coach Hayes, there's a wrinkle. We have the best kids from South Florida, which is Dade and Broward, playing against everybody else from Florida.
Ooh, I'm liking it. Because I hate the fact that they make Tampa part of South Florida.
Yeah.
But some idiot called Tampa USF. He must have been drinking some cane juice. But anyway, I like what you did right there. Hold on, not even West Palm Beach, dog. It's Dade and Broward versus West Palm
Broward versus everybody. I want to go. I'm gonna leave that up to because the guy who's coaching the team in West Palm Beach is Quay, and if Quay them, Quay Nunley, and he's the one
What?
coaching the team. So we're gonna try to make sure that we get the best players, and I do agree. I think it needs to be Palm Beach County, but I'm gonna leave that to Quake, because if they don't take them, we sure gonna take them. So I'm gonna defer to him, but it'll be.
Hold on, y'all don't know who Nutley is now. I know they don't.
Right.
Listen, he broke who record? HBC who record he broke? You know? Jerry Rice record at FAMU. Shout out to Jacquay Nunley, man, in the good. Where's he coaching at now, man?
Is it? I think he might be in Carroll City. No, he is in Carroll City. That's where he's at.
Okay.
He Carroll City. He in Carroll City, because they lost to Lake Mary first game of the season.
I know Norland came up here. Didn't Norland come up here?
Or he might be Norland. He might be Norland. Whoever lost to Lake Mary, that's who he coaches for.
I think Norland came up here and played them. But anyway, shout out to the boys, man. Appreciate you, man. AG, as always, dog.
Always.
Y'all be prepared for the person, player, prospect, aside while seeing part 2, the follow-up. Ooh, I'm loving that. The follow-up. Huh?
You just let me know when you want to go down there. Matter of fact, he'll be here. Unfortunately, his great grandmother passed away, Mabel Butler. For those who don't know, you can Google her. She's a pioneer. But he'll be here Saturday. Well, he'll probably come tomorrow for her funeral.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
So I only said that because you might want to come by the house and do it again. It's on you.
No, I need some time. I need this season to finish. I want some good. I want them to finish this season out.
All right.
Because the next part 3 gonna be the NFL version. I ain't gonna be no next season. No, heck no.
I hope so. Yeah.
All right, brother. So with that being said, I'm gonna get up out of here. Hold tight in the back for me, man.
I got some juicy news that I'm gonna tell you when we get off there. I'm gonna give you some inside information.
All right, hold tight for me. With that being said, man, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. Everybody coming out tomorrow. Canes Talk Live. We talking about these Miami Hurricanes, who's now ranked number 4th in the nation, taking on them here lizards. You see it right there. They got 3 days, 20 hours, 14 minutes, and 14, 13, 12 seconds. Or you guess what? Put that foot off in their behind with them 9 later Gators. You understand me? Care about no goddamn on University of Florida. But also, like I said, hopefully Coach Prime can fix it and can get it fixed around. But the defense is going to be the major issue. That's where the catastrophic injury is, in my opinion, right now. Although it looks like it's at quarterback, but it's really the defensive side. They got to be able to stop the run if you want to win these ball games. All right. So with all that being said, make sure you check out the good, bad, and ugly film review. All right. That's where I break down all of the plays right here on this channel. You might get it right at the end of this show. Just hit the subscribe button, guys. YouTube has demonetized it. I get nothing. So for all y'all be like, you just doing it for the money. I get nothing. ESPN get the little bit of money. They already billionaires. So just hit me up with a like. With that being said, we out of here. Peace. Man, that goddamn neck bone calling here talking about, Coach. All right, I got to go to work. Bye. Man, take this with you to work, mother. Out of here.